Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
This is on the road again. This time they're in Stony Brook Field in Brewster, Massachusetts, taking on a Brewster Whitecaps team that has played them twice and beaten them twice, both times at McKeon Park. Hyannis trying to return the favor their first trip to Brewster. Hello everyone, Graham Nash alongside Giovanni Collada with you for today's ball game. And Gio, Hyannis is coming off a very close game at home against Orleans, a game that they tied. And although they didn't get the win, the bats got a lot hotter than they have been the past week.
That was a welcome explosion of the offense, Graham. 11 hits, 8 runs, ended in a tie, but it's the first time they've scored that much and hit that much since they played the Orleans Firebirds last on June 27th. And the thing I want to point out, Graham, is that those 7 of the 8 runs came in those first 2 innings of play. The 8th run came in the 3rd inning, so Hyannis did its scoring as it has this season. Early on, they've been very successful when they flipped the order through 2 innings. There are now 6 wins and 1 tie with that. So tonight, you need to see that offense come early, and even then it may not result in a win like we saw last night.
That's exactly right. The offense was absolutely rolling, had an 8-1 lead, and still the pitching couldn't lock it down.
And this is a pitching staff, Graham, that likes to strike people out a lot. Second in the league to Falmouth in strikeouts this season with over 170 Ks. But take the last 2 games, they struck out just 11 batters. Now, that seems like a good amount for a normal team, probably the average amount. But for Hyannis, when you struck out as many as 18 in a game this past week in the tie against Harwich on Tuesday, that's low for 2 games. They struck out 9 last night compared to the 11 across the 2 games prior, so the pitching picked it up, especially Ryan Speciak. He got some help from his outfield and Matt Mira with a game-saving throw in the top of the 9th inning to at least give Hyannis a chance. Just couldn't get it done, as you said.
And the pitching is going to have to be good today. This Brewster team has a lot of offense. I was able to catch up with manager Mitch Carricker and ask him about his right-hander, Santi Garcia, who he's putting on the mound for this ball game. Let's take a listen.
You didn't say clear. No. I realize that I should put Mira at the end of this answer.
Nash catching up with manager Mitch Carricker pregame. Coach, so many close games these past couple times, but yet to get that big signature win. How do you keep the guys motivated after such close calls?
I don't think I have to. I think they like to win just as much as we do. We've been frustrated the last couple of games, just coming up a little bit short, and we've had a lot of close games, kind of like you said, and would like to get over the hump of that. Just put together a complete game. I think, some days the offense is good, some days the pitching's good, but to do it on both sides is really what we're looking for, so hopefully we can do that tonight.
You played Brewster twice at home, yet to get that win against this Whitecaps team. What do you want to see from the team, and specifically Santi Garcia, to get off to a quick start?
Yeah, I think Santi, just like he was his last outing, I think just pounding the strike zone. His breaking ball, if that's on, he's got a really good chance to be successful. Offensively, I think what we did last night was good. If we can carry some of that over into tonight, it'll be really really helpful for us. And, you know, I think I just want our guys to play hard, you know, take the results out of it. I just want them to compete and get after it and see what happens at the end of the day.
Throughout the course of the season, you've really mixed up your lineup a lot, put different guys in different spots. What's the goal with that? What are you trying to accomplish with mixing it around so much?
Yeah, I mean, I think just trying to figure out, you know, what formula gets us the most runs, first and foremost. Also give guys different opportunities to hit in different areas of the lineup. You know, we've had some guys that have left and some guys that have come in, and so trying to mesh the old guys with the new guys and try to figure out, you know, what's going to get us a win at the end of the day. So tonight we shook it up a little bit, and we'll keep messing with that and see what gives us the best chance to win.
Thanks so much, Coach.
Thank you.
Guys? Was talking about it. Hyannis has struggled mightily against this Brewster team.
And this is a Brewster team that's experienced a similarly tough week to Hyannis. Yesterday they got absolutely trounced by Katuitt, 19-3, by far the largest margin of victory in the Cape Cod Baseball League this season. But when you've got a team that's allowed a 14-run inning, they're going to be playing with some fire coming into today, Graham. That's exactly what they've done in the prior two meetings with Hyannis. We mentioned that the Harbor Hawks like to get out to early scoring. That's happened for the Whitecaps in both matchups at McKeon Park earlier this summer. Brewster's outscoring Hyannis 9-3 across those two games this season. Not a huge margin considering how Hyannis played in that game, but again, it's going to come down to some lockdown pitching like we saw last night, especially from Ryan Speciak. Likely won't see him today, but those late game situations against Brewster is where Hyannis has struggled the most.
And they're going to need to lean on some of their biggest names like Ryan McKay and like Matt Mura, who is coming off of a 10th inning that went from absolute elation to heartbreak in the snap of a finger. It was a tied 8-8 ball game against Orleans in the top of the 10th. 2 outs, a runner at second base in the top of the 10th inning, and Mura in left field gets the baseball on a hop and guns down the base runner at home. He goes back into the dugout with a chance to end it at the bottom of the next inning. Charlie Bates was at third base, 90 feet away from ending the ball game, and Matt Mura was facing his Hawaii teammate, who he took yard the first time that they played on the first pitch of the ball game in Orleans. It was all in Mura's favor in that sense. However, he couldn't get it done. He lined out to center field, and that ended the ball game. Our Ava Fernandez had the chance to catch up with Matt Mura, ask him about that hit, and ask him about his game-saving play. Let's take a listen.
Behind the ball, trying to do all the fundamentals I've learned at school, and just try to put the ball on the plate.
And take me through that 10th inning at bat. What was your approach kind of stepping up to the plate?
Oh, it was my teammate from Hawaii again. So I mean, I know he's a good pitcher. He has a good changeup, trying to see it up, and just trying to battle in there.
Yeah, and how do you kind of take that approach coming off that pressure last night at bat into the game tonight?
Every bat's more so the same, even though regarding the situation it could differ a little bit. But just trying to put a good swing on the ball, trying to see it early, and try to get my best swing towards the middle of the field.
Yeah. Well, good luck tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Heartbreak for Matt Mura not being able to win the game for his team after saving the game. On the defensive side, he still seems to be in very good spirits.
And he's got every reason to be. I mean, he still, for his own personal development, had a very good night where he put up 2 singles in back-to-back innings. You come to the plate 6 times, and we know with Mura this season it's been a lot of first pitch swinging, a lot of aggression in early attack mode, yet there, it didn't work out for him. As he swings at a first pitch, he goes down into counts early, and there you see the pros and the cons of this early ambush tactic from Mitch Carricker, that if you swing and you hit it well, it's going to work out for you with early runs. If you don't, you're going to get down in counts early and be forced to make some decisions as a hitter that you might not make if you had level counts or even a 2-3 ball count.
Mitch Carricker has made some big changes to his defensive alignment and even to his batting order. We're going to talk about all that in just a moment, however. Hyannis and Brewster about ready to square off. We will be right back on the Harbor Hawks Baseball Network.
I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that
All right, think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
So I think, Dean, they're allowing you to find your own success and your own true independence.
Dean is a whole group of all different kinds of people and communities.
Since I've come to Dean, I've learned a lot of time management skills.
Our community is especially tight-knit, and the majority of our students live on campus. And you are guaranteed 4 years of housing while you attend Dean.
Dean is just full of opportunities for you to embrace, to welcome, so you can change yourself to who you want to be and form your career for the future.
So go through that. All right, think that way.
Be a bulldog. Have a bulldog mentality in everything you do in life, whether you're playing sports or in the classroom or just socializing around campus.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Pretty good season so far going. 4 innings pitched his last time against Cotuit, 6 hits, but only 1 run, which was earned. He struck out 5 without walking a single batter. A season ERA of 5.40 over 15 appearances in his 2025 Tennessee season. And he's facing this batting order for Mitch Carricker. Matt Mura is going to lead off with Ryan McKay and Jackson Willits close behind. The middle 3, Stone Lawless, Sawyer Black, and Ray Velasquez with Jeff Luigi, Hayden Federico, who's back up in the lineup, and Charlie Bates closes out the starting 9. Our umpires for today's ball game, Dan Fitzpatrick is behind home plate with Jake Brichta at first and Rick Antonio over at third base. It's a hard-hitting Hyannis lineup going up against a pretty good Brewster pitching team, although they've had some struggles lately, especially yesterday against Cotuit.
They sure have. Not many crooked scores just like that, Graham. 19 runs on the board against this Brewster team, including the highest scoring inning in Cape Cod Baseball League history with a 14-run frame from the Kettleers, and that's after they've cut Rintaro Sasaki. they're red hot right now. But for Brewster, coming into this game off that performance, you don't get to see a lot from that late inning unless you make them count. You're way out of that game. It's going to be a 7-inning run rule regardless. You're not playing all 9. But they patched together some decent innings in that late stretch of the game that they're going to take into today against the Harbor Hawks team that's struggling arguably just as much.
Weather right now in Brewster feels like 82 degrees. It's sitting at 79. The wind blowing at 11 miles per hour from home plate out to left field. It gusts at 21, so a little bit windier conditions, and it'll be helping those righties pull it down the third base line. A righty is going to lead things off for Hyannis. Matt Mura steps into the batter's box. Coons rocks and fires, and it's a ball upstairs to Matt Mura at 5:05. A little bit late for this ball game, but only by 5 minutes. We're starting pretty much on time. Mura coming off a good performance yesterday, and he's got 2 quick balls. That one misses outside. 2 for 6 yesterday at home against Orleans. Struck out once, stole a bag, but he's been 0 for 6 against these Brewster Whitecaps. He's ahead 2-0. Takes a strike.
We've seen him be first pitch swinging a lot this year, Graham, especially recently, more so than in the early half of the season, and so far it's worked out for him pretty well.
The 2-1 from Coons. Misses just out, or just catches. A very late call from Dan Fitzpatrick behind home plate, so we're level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Matt Mura, he's been on a tear recently, 6-game hit streak, which includes 3 multi-hit performances. Had one of those yesterday at Orleans. The deuce is wild. Inside, and we have a full count. And despite leading off, Gio, we've talked about this all the time, Matt Mura has the 2nd most RBIs on the team.
And that's just so impressive when you factor in that, a lot of those are not going to come with guys on base, but that's a testament to the way Hyannis flips the order. It's often early as well.
Payoff pitch to Mura. Hit back up the middle. It hits Coons on the cleat, and it flies over Cal Fisher at short. Leadoff single for Matt Mura in a very unusual way, I guess you could say.
Bit of a painful way to start the game for Tegan Coons. That one ricochets off his back heel as he turned to get out of the way of that ball. And so good reflexes save him from having that come on the inner foot. And that's a good way for Mura to get back on base after the tough end to yesterday's game. But again, he continues to be hot.
Dan Fitzpatrick, home plate umpire, went up and checked on Coons. He seems to be all right. And check over at Mura. He's safe.
Mura's been picked off now twice this season. He's the only guy to be picked off multiple times, and Hyannis itself has been picked off 4 times this year.
Another check over at him, and he's back safely again. Another guy that's been picked off is Ryan McKay. He steps into the lefty's box. He played yesterday against Orleans, but it was a pinch-hitting appearance in the bottom of the ninth for Brody Briggs. His first pitch is fouled straight back, a high heater that he just caught up to.
And we talked in that moment, Graham, about the danger of this Hyannis lineup for the remainder of the summer. This upcoming week with the MLB draft on the horizon becomes the most important week of roster building in the entire Cape League season. And for McKay to not be starting yesterday and get in the game in that spot when he wasn't in the starting lineup, it shows the depth of this Harbor Hawks team for the remainder of the year.
And although McKay didn't get that hit, he did move Charlie Bates the 90 feet over to third, gave Hyannis a really good look at bringing that winning run home. McKay takes a ball. Mura is trying to steal third. The throw is not in time. A stolen base for Matt Mura. He gets himself in scoring position. That is his 7th stolen base, makes him the team leader this year.
Well, 2 days, 3 singles, and now 2 steals for Matt Mura. It just seems like whenever he is along the base paths, Graham, he's a threat to steal. And there was a late sign there from Mitch Carricker, but he made up for it with a great jump.
Ryan McKay now working with a man in scoring position. No outs in the top of the first inning between Hyannis and Brewster. A 1-1 pitch to McKay. He's well late. The fastball blows it right by him. Ryan McKay, the 3rd best batting average in the Cape Cod Baseball League, currently sitting at .358. He's 15 points behind Brewster's Josiah Ragsdale, who actually just took off. So he's a chance to catch Ragsdale. 20 points behind his teammate, Jackson Willits, who currently leads the league. His 1-2. Swings through a fastball. That's the first out of the inning.
That's an uncharacteristic strikeout from Ryan McKay. Not the way you see him do that a lot. He has 20 strikeouts this year, something like that. I would say 15 of them are looking. And for him to, he worked 46 walks to lead Michigan State. So we imagine we see him with a bit more eye next time he's up at the plate.
And interestingly, he's only worked 3 walks this season with Hyannis. Hasn't really had that same ability to walk, but his hitting has been phenomenal. Jackson Willits is up to the plate with 1 out, and Matt Mura at second in the top of the first. And takes a ball outside.
And to close that point on McKay, Graham, that could be why he came to the Cape in the first place. He's saying to his coach at Michigan State, hey, I want to become more of a hitter. I want to balance that in, be swing happy a little bit, like Jackson Willits has done so well, where he's worked so many walks, and recently his bat is what's been getting him on base.
Willits had a perfect performance last night against Orleans as he takes a ball in a very similar spot just outside. It's 2-0. 3 for 3 against Orleans yesterday. Crossed home plate 3 times, also drew a walk, stole a base, and was hit by a pitch. His on-base percentage is a league-leading .547. He's got a 2-0 count. Looks very comfortable. The pitch just catches the top of the zone. It's a 2-1.
That's a competitive miss from Tegan Coons, and one he's okay with as well. I mean, he didn't miss the zone, but he missed his spot most likely, especially with Jackson Willits, who not going to really take it the other way, at least we've seen this season, especially up 2-0.
2-1. Willits checks his swing, takes a ball. They now appeal and say no swing. 3-1, Jackson Willits. They're lifting the bat off his shoulder for the first time. Didn't even swing through it. Willits, that .547 on base percentage is 63 points better than the man in second, which is Chatham's Daniel Jackson. He's got a 3-1 count. Mura at second with 1 out. He takes a strike on the inside corner. It's a full count. Matt Mura had a full count just 2 batters ago and got a hit right back up the middle. Went off Tegan Coons' cleat and bounced into the outfield. Coons looks at Mura. Now set to deliver. Payoff. Outside, ball 4.
Another professional at-bat from Jackson Willits. When he doesn't see something he likes right in the first 2-3 pitches, Graham, I notice, he lays off most everything for the rest of the at-bat, and that's why he's this team's leader in walks.
He didn't swing once. He had a check swing where it barely came off his shoulder, but he did not make a full swing that entire plate appearance. That's why he's been so successful.
Go ahead.
He leaves way for Stone Lawless.
And if he reverses a trend where he's swinging the bat well, but he's also working walks, and we talk about how that makes him doubly dangerous.
Lawless takes a ball away. A breaker couldn't locate. Lawless coming off a 2-for-4 performance at YD on July 4th. Did not play yesterday against Orleans. Those 2 hits were his first multi-hit performance of the Cape League season, but he's only played 4 games. He's still very new to this Hyannis team. His 1-0 bends in for a strike. Beautiful 12-6 curveball that had him looking. And that's just what the name of the game has been for Hyannis so far, is new faces coming in. A lot of guys have left, and the new faces have done a pretty good job of integrating themselves quickly. Mura, 180 feet away. He thought about going. Was going for a stop-start, and Coons has to check on him.
Didn't get a good jump, but he's lucky that Carson Kirsch, the second baseman, was shaded as far as he was to that right outfield grass. Almost had his heels on it, or else he might have been tagged out.
Still a 1-1 count to Stone Lawless. 1 out in the inning. Runners on first and second, top of the first inning. The pitch. Fly down the right field side, well, foul. Lawless's first game was on the 27th of June, which would have been 1 game after Hyannis played Brewster for the second time. That was a 6-1 win for the Whitecaps at McKeon Park. The first time they faced off, the 3rd game of the season, and Brewster won 3-2. That one much closer than the second time Brewster made their way to McKeon Park. 1-2. Swung on and missed. Lawless climbs the ladder. 2 down.
Both of Kuhn's strikeouts in this inning, Graham, have come with that high heater on the wipeout pitch, which is that 2-strike count you see. And you can fool power hitters like McKay and Stone Lawless with that pitch. If you put it in the right spot, they're both behind it. That's something to note. So he's sitting mid-90s with that ball. And that's a dangerous pitch. But Hyannis, maybe second time through the order, they'll start to see it.
Gio, we talk about new faces to this Hyannis order. Maybe no one quite as new as Sawyer Black, who steps into the lefty's box for the first time with 2 outs and a runner on first and second. Going to check over at Matt Mura at second base. He's in safely. Black playing in only his second game of his 2025 Cape League season. Registered 2 at-bats at YD on July 4th. Not a bad day to make your first start. Went 1 for 2, drew a walk, struck out, and got hit by a pitch. Black waiting for his first pitch of the at-bat. He gets it. Breaking ball, catches the bottom of the zone. Kuhn's looking pretty comfortable now with that 12-6 curve. And he's tunneling it so well with that high heater that's retired 2 batters. Black, the 5th batter of the inning for Hyannis. Mira's on second base. Willits is on first. The 0-1. Skied into the outfield. Magpok and Martin going over to make the play. Martin in right field will make the catch, and that will end the inning. Matt Mura gets a leadoff single. Jackson Willits draws a walk, but Hyannis can't bring him around. 0-0 heading into the bottom of the first.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Let their defense try to give Brewster the same result. Santi Garcia is on the mound for Hyannis. Garcia making his 5th appearance, first start of this 2025 Cape League season, but he's coming off a really long and solid performance at YD on the 29th. Went for 4 innings, no hits, no runs, 2 walks, and 4 Ks. He's one of 3 in the Cape Cod Baseball League to still have a clean ERA. The other 2, Wareham's Josh Butler and Falmouth's Trevor Ballmer. He goes up against this Brewster Whitecaps lineup. Carson Curse leading off with Cal Fisher and Brendan Lawson backing him up. The middle 3, Ryan Martin, Dalton Wentz, and Alex Sosa, with Carson Tinney, Colin Priest, and Adam Magpok rounding out the 9. And the defense surrounding Santi Garcia from left to right in the outfield. Sawyer Black, Matt Mura, and Hayden Federico in right for the first time this season with the Hawks. On the infield, Jackson Willits playing his 3rd game at third base. Charlie Bates at short. Ryan McKay back at second base with Ray Velasquez at first base for the first time. Stone Lawless doing the catching. Gio, a lot of shakeups on the defensive side for Hyannis.
There sure are, and that comes with the absence of Andrew Williamson. Hayden Federico came into this year wanting to play more outfield. He DH'd a ton in his freshman season at Ole Miss, and so now he gets a chance to take the post that Williamson once inhabited. Sawyer Black back into the lineup after a really solid first start on July 4th. And I think the most interesting switch here is Ray Velasquez moving from his normal post at third over to first for the very first time this season. First base going to be a position that might be in flux with Miles Bailey's departure and Gabe Camacho needing a break.
Carson Curse takes a strike on the lower outside corner. We've usually seen Gabe Camacho over at first base. For a long time, it was Miles Bailey, but then he went to USA Baseball. And Camacho's just kind of been the king over there. He's been the only one eligible to play first base. The 0-1 is up and away.
And we learned yesterday, Graham, that he came to the Cape thinking he was going to catch.
Right.
He hadn't done that at UC San Diego, nor at his prior school at Pacific. And so he comes to the Cape wanting to get some of those catching reps and ends up playing his normal post at third, and he hasn't disappointed.
1-1 skips in. Well, Carson Curse, he's a rising junior at Georgia Tech. Played 13 games this season as a .250 batting average. Went 1 for 1 in Brewster's last game, but 1 for 4 at Hyannis on the 25th, the one game that he's played against the Harbor Hawks this season. Is 2-1. Nailed back up the middle, sending Matt Mura back to the track, but he settles and makes the grab.
And this is what Santi Garcia does so well, Graham. If he works himself down into a count, he's able to get back in so quickly with breaking balls that locate. That's a reverse approach. You typically see fastball, breaking ball. Most of the time, he's going breaking ball, fastball because he's so good with it. Try to get yourself head into a count early, and there he induces the fly ball with that breaking pitch.
You never really know what Santi Garcia is going to throw. Can't get into that guy's head on the mound.
Usually it's going to be pretty good, at least so far this season.
Garcia faces Cal Fisher, who swings at the first pitch, sends it far down the left field line, and it's foul. The third baseline just couldn't extend quite far enough for Cal Fisher, and so he walks back to home plate, having taken a long strike. Fisher, a rising junior at Florida State. He's only making his 7th appearance of the season. He's 5 for 20 at the plate. He's got a triple, interestingly. 2 RBIs, 2 walks, coming off an 0 for 3 performance, however, in Brewster's last game. That was against Cotuit when they lost 19-3. The 0-1 count to Cal Fisher. Santi Garcia rocks and fires. It's low.
Crazy thing about that 19-3 game, outside the fact that there was a 14-run inning on Brewster in the third, where obviously most of those runs came from, but Ryan Farber of Cotuit was the first player in Cape League history with a hit from both sides of the plate in the same frame.
The 1-1. Slow curveball catches right down the heart.
Just nasty stuff from Santi and from Ryan Farber.
And that 12-6 for Santi Garcia seems to be so deadly because he can tunnel it with the fastball, but he can also use the slider that comes in a little bit quicker, starts on the same line, and bends away from the right-handed hitter. Pulled down the left field line, it's foul.
Yeah, Garcia with that 3-pitch mix. Fastball rests low 90s, Graham, but that slider up to 86-88, down from 79 to 80. On that curveball. Not quite the biggest difference we've seen this year, but still jarring enough to confuse a hitter.
1-2 count for Cal Fisher. Garcia delivers. Knocked the other way, trying to stay fair yet again. Hayden Federico giving it chase in right, sprinting to the wall, and it's over for a foul ball. Santi Garcia, again, making his first start of his Cape League season. He did not start at all for Oregon in 2025. 24 relief appearances, pitched 30 innings, allowed 18 hits, 14 runs, all of which were earned. It's a 4.2 ERA. He's got 1 out in the bottom of the first. A 0-0 ball game between Hyannis and Brewster. The 1-2, pulled down the left side, slow hop. Charlie Bates is short, turns, fires. Velasquez can't get it in his glove in time. It was a brilliant effort from Charlie Bates working against the grain, had to turn, jump, and fire, and it was just a half a step late to retire Cal Fisher.
And that's a better run out than anything, Graham, from Cal Fisher. Gets a great jump off of it. Bates just if you're going to tag him for anything, Graham, he's just a touch short to that ball. And Velasquez, at his first attempt at a put out at first base, probably a little rusty. Only played first base a handful of times at Austin Peay. So this has been a while for him.
Sets the table for Brendan Lawson, left-hander. Takes a ball downstairs. Lawson, rising sophomore at Florida, 6'3", 215 pounds, making his 6th appearance of the ball game or of the season. He's got a very interesting stance, bat way above his helmet. As the 1-0 ripped back up the middle. Bates catches it on the fly, tries to double up, but his throw pulls Ray Velasquez off the bag. And so 2 outs in the inning.
That was a tough throw from Charlie Bates to attempt another double play. We saw one the other day, Graham. I believe it was a 1-6-3 double play, chopped right back at the pitcher. And then, I believe, it was in that YD game on Thursday that was weather shortened. And almost a similar outing there to end the inning.
Ryan Martin takes a ball upstairs on the 12-6 curve. Martin working with a teammate over on first base. That's Cal Fisher. 2 outs in the bottom of the first inning, and 0-0 ball game between Hyannis and Brewster. Both teams with 1 hit in the first inning. Martin trying to extend that to 2 for the Whitecaps. And an identical pitch misses outside. Garcia trying to establish that curveball early. It makes his fastball so dangerous because his ability to throw it on seemingly the same line is second to none at this point. He sets for the 2-0 and delivers. Fastball blows right past Martin.
Just a dirty pitch on that last one, Graham, with the fastball, and that's exactly the effect of what you were saying prior, in the sense that with the tunnel from the breaking ball to the fastball, again, it's a reverse approach there. That's what makes that pitch so lethal.
2-1 pitch. Down in the dirt. Went with the slider that time. Didn't start it in the right spot. So Ryan Martin ahead 3-1. Garcia has done a good job so far of getting ahead in the count. That's led to a lot of success, a fly out and a line drive to short. Cal Fisher at first, 2 outs, the 3-1. Swing and a miss on the outside corner. Garcia going with an elevated heater that time. Martin has not played against this Hyannis team. As coming off a 1-for-3 performance against Katuitt with a home run. 3-2 runner goes, skies it on the infield. Ray Velasquez trying to catch it in play. He loses it but is able to glove it and end the inning. Cal Fisher works a single, but no one can bring him around. Santi Garcia off to a good start in Brewster.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Coons still on the mound for Brewster, only the top of the second inning. He's gone the distance, or excuse me, he hasn't gone the distance, but he's gone pretty long this season, so expect him to make it to at least that 4th inning. Coming off a pretty good season at Tennessee with the title defending Vols that couldn't make it as far in the NCAA tournament as I'm sure they would have liked. Had a 5.4 ERA, made 10 starts as a true freshman, and also 5 relief appearances to go along with it. 36 2/3 innings pitched, an ERA 5.40. He's currently working a 1.13 ERA over 2 games and 2 starts. And although he let up a walk and a single in the first inning, Gio, he did a pretty good job cleaning up.
He did, with a couple of strikeouts on wipeout fastballs. You don't normally hear that, but that's exactly what they were. 2 strikes, you go upstairs in the zone to a couple of power hitters in Ryan McKay and Stone Lawless. And if you put that pitch with the velocity that he's got, sits mid-90s, that's exactly what you're going to get from a guy like Tegan Coons, where you can fool a power hitter early. And now another player coming up that could fall into the same trap in Ray Velasquez.
A struggling Ray Velasquez leading off, like you mentioned. The pitch. Catches top of the zone, a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. Velasquez was on a 4-game hitless streak. He was 1 for his last 17, or is 1 for his last 17 at the plate. He was 0 for his last 14 going into yesterday's ball game. The 0-1 misses down low on a curveball. He went 1 for 4 yesterday against Orleans. Had an RBI, a strikeout, and he's really hoping that can fuel something right now for him.
Yeah, especially that single in the 9th inning to lead it off and start to give Hyannis a chance in that final frame.
1-1, fouled straight back.
Even though he gets left on base, that's got to jolt confidence going into a game like this and to the rest of the season, where he's one of the older players on this team. I believe actually he is the oldest player on this team at 22. So he's got a lot of baseball experience under his belt, both at Vanderbilt and Austin Peay, and now the Cape becomes an opportunity for him to show it.
1-2 hits him on the chest. But he's instantly tearing off his gear. Didn't even really flinch as walking over to first.
Nerves of steel from Velasquez. He nodded, chucked that bat, went flipping up a couple of times as it landed just shy of the on-deck circle. And that, ouch, first of all.
Yeah.
As someone that didn't play baseball, ow. Right on the lower rib, if he's a righty, so he lifts under his left arm just close to the armpit. And that's got to sting, but he's on first base, and there you go, case in point. You're working that bat like that.
Coons checks over on him. I'll say I quit baseball the second kids started trying to throw hard for that exact reason. So props to you, Ray Velasquez, for taking that one like a champ. So with a runner on first and no outs in the top of the second, Jeff Lugie fouls one straight back. Lugie coming off an 0-for-4 performance against Orleans last night. This is only his 6th game of the season. Got hits in 3 of the 5 so far. That 0-for-4 performance, one of the 2 where he was held hitless. Another check over at Velasquez. He slides in safely. But he did draw a walk yesterday. He's working a 2-game on-base streak. He's only seen 1 pitch, and he's going to have to wait for the second as another check on Velasquez is late.
We talked about pickoffs in that last inning when Matt Mura reached. Velasquez, the first Harbor Hawk to get picked off all season long on June 17th at Chatham. And we can see some of it here. Coons with a slinging sidearm of a pickoff move. If Velasquez is another pace or 2 off where he creeps off that first base bag, could be trouble.
4 checks over Velasquez. He goes on the 0-1, hit back up the middle, a hit and run for Mitch Carricker. It drops in front of Magpok in center. Jeff Lugie gets his first hit since the 3rd against YD, and a very well done hit and run for Mitch Carricker. It's just that since it floated a little bit, Velasquez couldn't go to 3rd.
Yeah, and that's, again, he won't get credited with the steal, but he probably deserves it for that jump, Graham. After dancing by a little bit, couple pickoff moves from Tegan Coons, he wins that mental battle along the base paths and really gets to second base quick. A better piece of hitting from Jeff Lugie. Just a little bloop in front of a speedy Magpok in center field, and now some ducks on the pond for Hayden Federico.
Federico did not play yesterday as he shows bunt on the first pitch, pops it up directly behind us. It goes over the fence. And a fan is going away with a souvenir. Hayden Federico, a true team player and very good at playing small ball. He is so quick on the base paths.
And he's played everywhere in the outfield, now playing right, left, and center, as well as DHing as he did at Ole Miss a lot last season. But he's, a team player in that sense, but also just one of those gel guys. Everyone loves him, always with a smile on his face. Just seems to be having a good time, whether he's doing well or not.
The 0-1. Federico doesn't show bunt, swings and fouls it off into the glove of Carson Tinney. The first time, I believe, that Coons has gone up 0-2 in a count against Hyannis today. Federico, a hard guy to get out, would not have thought, looking from 1 through 9, that he'd be the guy to be down 0-2. But just because he is down no balls to 2 strikes does not mean that he's going to be an easy out. He's working a 13-game on-base streak here on the Cape. Federico with no outs and an 0-2. Skies it to left center field. Magpok in center, sets his feet, and makes the catch. Velasquez going to try to tag from second to third. The throw well off the bag, and he gets there standing up.
And a productive out for Hayden Federico there. We saw him jump on a pitch at Harwich in the tie this past Tuesday, Graham. That one left over the fence. He just gets a bit under his spot here on that fastball upstairs in the zone. Again, from Tegan Coons, that has been the attempted strikeout pitch. He's 2 for 3 on it so far when he's been in 2 strike counts today.
So lead off the inning, we talked about Ray Velasquez, how he was going through a pretty cold streak. The only guy on this Hyannis team to maybe be going through a colder one is Charlie Bates, now stepping up to the plate. Bates on a 5-game hitless streak. He's 0 for his last 17. And his strikeout numbers are well high. Bates swings at the first pitch, fouls it right back into the face of Carson Tinney, the catcher, but he immediately pops back up, seems to be all right. Bates has struck out every game since June 20th against Wareham. 16 strikeouts on the season. In the month of July, he's already had 4. It's over the course of 3 games. He's got runners on the corners, 1 out, and a 0-0 ball game, top of the second. Bates takes a curveball right down the pipe. And you can just see his frustration taking pitches like that that are right down Broadway that he knows he should swing at.
And it's just he's so reserved, as you said, Graham. It's just, you know, a more conservative approach because he knows that any appearance on the base paths is, yes, going to help the team, but also help his confidence as he tries to get out of this slump.
Coons checked over at first base, and Jeff Lugie slid in safely. Hyannis trying to be the first team to put a run on the scoreboard. Charlie Bates takes a ball away. And we talked about in the early parts of the season when he had a pretty good start, went 1 for 4 in his first ball game, 2 for 4 in his third ball game. We talked about how he looked really good at the plate. He looked patient, disciplined, just a little inconsistent. He's only a rising sophomore, so a younger guy. Check over at first again, Lugie's safe. And I think that that is the biggest piece to remember. He's a rising sophomore at Stanford. He doesn't have nearly as many reps as some of these other guys like Matt Mura, who's going into his senior year at Hawaii, does. 1 out. He's ready for the 1-2. Just misses away. Fastball coming in at 94 from Tegan Coons.
And takes like that are going to really help Charlie Bates. That is the attempt at this 2-strike count for Coons to strike out Charlie Bates. And good on the lefty to lay off it.
Bates trying to bring in Ray Velasquez 90 feet away. The 2-2 fouled straight back. Hyannis has struggled a little bit recently with runners in scoring position. 2 for 13 yesterday against Orleans. They didn't even get a shot against Catuit the last time that they played the Kettleers. 1 for 12 at Harwich. Did pretty well against YD. 3 for 8 when they played them at home on the 3rd. 2 for 7 on July 4th, as Lugie is safe on another check. That's the category that they really need to start increasing. Another check over. Lugie's safe yet again. In away ballparks, they have a .235 average with runners in scoring position, which is down compared to a .293 average with runners in scoring position at McKeon Park. But interestingly, they have a better away record than they do at home. Lugie dancing, the 2-2 coming. Bends in strike 3. Bates retired on a 12-6 curve. He's the second out of the inning.
And what a huge third strikeout for Tegan Coons with runners on the corners. And now a difficult situation for Matt Mura as Hyannis flips the order through 2 innings again, Graham. If back-to-back games, first time since last week they would have done that. But now with 2 outs, you really have to be conservative. You're choking up on the bat. You're just trying to get something in play beyond the infield, of course, which is slightly pinched at the corners. You got a couple guys in the outfield.
Mura swings at the first pitch, sends it foul behind us. Mura, like we mentioned, the second most RBIs on this ball club with 10. And he's only hit in the leadoff spot or in the second spot in the lineup. It's not like he's been 4th or 5th where he's had a lot of chances.
That's still the craziest part of that stat to me, Graham, because you only get RBIs in situations like this where you flip the order.
He singled his first time up just an inning ago. Lugie goes on the 0-1. They fake a throwdown. Had Velasquez, now he's in a rundown. Velasquez getting chased by catcher Tinney. He goes out of the base paths, doesn't get tagged, and now there's an out called. Velasquez caught in a rundown between third and home plate that ends the inning despite runners being on the corner. Still 0-0 heading into the bottom of the second.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind-the-scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Bottom of the second inning at Stony Brook Field. Hyannis and Brewster knotted up at 0 apiece. Last time that these two teams faced, it was an offensive explosion from the Whitecaps at McKeon Park. Brewster recorded at least one hit in 8 of 9 innings, and they left 11 on base. So this ball game is really going to come down to Santi Garcia.
It is, and it came down to the pitching last time with Evan Blanco making a pair of starts against these Brewster Whitecaps. Of his 3 on the Cape, and he pitched pretty well all told in both of them. In the latter start he made, Graham, he didn't allow 5 of the 6 runs that allowed Brewster to take that commanding lead. And so for Garcia, another repeat outing from him might get it to the 6th inning if he really does well. But then again, it comes down to those guys in the bullpen. Can they hold whatever this offense does?
Dalton Wentz was so crossed up on that pitch from Garcia. It was right down the heart of the plate. He was bending away like it was inside. That's the pitch that has been so unbelievably strong for Garcia early. His 0-1 fouled off, the same pitch.
Throws it again, and it's even more tough when it comes lefty, Garcia lefty, Wentz a righty. Jake Schaffner told Max yesterday, Graham, that the outside slider on the opposite hand matchup is one of the hardest pitches to hit in baseball.
Garcia with the 0-2. There's the slider, and it's low and away. Garcia had a pretty quick first inning of work. Cal Fisher singled, but other than that, got a fly out, a line out, and a pop out. All 3 ways except for a ground ball to get that out with the ball in play. Pitch. Hit right back at Garcia, and he catches it on the fly. Quick hands from Santi Garcia and a quick first out.
Well, that one fortuitously right into his mitt. He dodges out of the way, and that almost helps him as he just had his mitt with his right elbow planted on his torso, and it fell right into his Oregon Duck-colored glove.
He'll take on Alex Sosa, the catcher. Sosa actually DHing tonight. He is a catcher, which is what I read on his roster, but he's DHing. He's backed up by catcher Carson Tinney tonight. Sosa, rising junior at NC State, did not play against Katuitt last night. His 0 is just in for a strike. And Sosa not very happy about the call. He thought that was low. Sosa making his 14th appearance of his Cape League season. His 0-1. Fouled straight back. Sosa, a pretty good season at NC State this last season. 55 games played, all of them starts. 278 average with 55 hits, 16 doubles, and 10 home runs. That got him 40 RBIs. He also drew 33 walks. 0-2. Good take on a curveball that hits the dirt. And if you can have this kind of hitter where he's got unbelievable power, but also a good eye to work 33 walks, that is deadly.
It's almost like a Jackson Willits for Brewster.
1-2. Swung on and missed. The breaking ball retires Alex Sosa, the first strikeout of the day for Garcia.
Look down at the scorebook, Graham. I'm surprised that's only K number 1 for Garcia. With how many wipeout pitches he's thrown, Brewster's just gotten bat to ball very well. And now he gets his long-awaited, well-deserved first K.
Looking for a 3-up, 3-down inning as he takes on Carson Tinney. Tinney coming off of that great defensive play to end the top of the second. Caught Ray Velasquez in a rundown as Jeff Luigi tried to steal second base with 2 outs on the scoreboard. His first pitch, taken for a strike right down the plate. Tenney Rising Jr. at Notre Dame, 6'3", 220 pounds. His 0-1 is low. Tenney played 48 games for the Fighting Irish, a .348 average, as he looks to transfer to Texas. Going to play some SEC baseball. 1-1. Breaking ball misses inside. 2-1 count.
Surprising part about that, he hasn't played a game for Jim Schlossnagle and the Longhorns, yet he's already decked out in the burnt orange and white catcher's gear.
The 2-1 from Garcia. Swung through. Seems very excited to be going to Texas, although he's struggling a little bit this season at the plate. He's got an .067 average through 11 games played. Trying to find some momentum before going to Austin. The 2-2. Slow curve misses upstairs. The count runs full.
And such a powerful hitter with the measurables to explain why. 6'3", 220. This is a big dude, and when he puts bats to ball, it makes a loud sound.
2 outs in the inning. A full count pitch. Swung on and missed. Garcia with a 3-up, 3-down inning. Strikes out the last 2 batters he sees. Still 0-0 heading into the third.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home, with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Hyannis Harbor Hawks in the top of the third inning. It's been a bit of a pitcher's duel early on, a 0-0 ball game, but both teams have gotten a couple hits. Hyannis with 2 hits over the first 2 innings, Brewster with 1, and the pitching has done a really good job of leaving those hitters on base.
It sure has. Tegan Coons has gone with that wipeout fastball a couple of times to the tune of those 3 strikeouts, Graham. But a couple of singles in each inning. You end with an odd play for Hyannis with a rundown of Ray Velasquez at third base. And oddly enough, that is the second time that's happened this year, where Gabe Camacho on July 4th got caught in a rundown. Of course, that was a much more significant situation in the 8th inning of a 1-run game. Here it's just a 0-0 game, but it could still come back to plague Hyannis.
And the Harbor Hawks were sitting pretty with Miura up, a runner in scoring position, and 2 outs. He hit .481 in his last season at Hawaii with runners in scoring position, .410 with runners in scoring position and 2 outs. But instead, Velasquez gets caught, and now Miura is going to lead off the inning. He already has a single to his name. That was back in the first, and he stole a base. He's trying to set the table for Ryan McKay and Jackson Willits. Speaking of, stick around. Our very own Ethan Wax has a little bit more on Jackson Willits after this frame is over. Matt Miura going to lead off with a season average of .288 and a single already under his belt. Tegan Coons has settled in nicely after allowing the leadoff single in the first at-bat of the ball game. He delivers a slider that catches the lower part of the zone.
Including this one, that's now 4 at-bats in a row from Miura where he's not gone first pitch swinging after going 3 for 3 in that regard a day ago.
The 0-1 to Miura. Fastball fouled straight back.
And by 3 for 3, I mean 3 at-bats, 3 first pitch swings, 2 singles.
When he catches fire, he's
forget it.
As hot as anyone.
Like, I point to that moment at Orleans, the first time those 2 teams played at Eldridge Park on June 27th. First pitch, first home run of the day for Matt Miura.
That teammate retired Matt Mura for the last out of the 10th yesterday. 0-2, and Matt Mura goes down swinging. Third K already for Tegan Coons, and a quick first out.
And that's such an uncharacteristic one, kind of like we saw from the guy due up in Ryan McKay. For Mura, rarely goes down on 3 pitches, but 3 very good ones from Tegan Coons. 2 breaking balls and that 1 fastball.
It's the first time that the leadoff batter for Hyannis in this ball game has not gotten on first base. As Ryan McKay checks his swing, they say he went. Curveball that hit the dirt right behind home plate, and McKay bit. Hyannis has been struggling with getting their leadoff batters on base as of late. 2 for 8 against Orleans, 1 for 9 at YD. As the 0-1 is another 12-6 curve, and McKay swings over the top. But for the first 2 leadoff batters in this ball game to get on base, that has got to be so refreshing for Mitch Carricker.
Promising to see that those innings can get jump-started so quickly. It's a real spark plug when you have the first guy on, regardless of how it happens.
McKay set for his 0-2 with 1 out in the top of the 3rd inning. Here comes. He strikes out twice. Well, they say he got a piece. And now, well, Carson Tinney, the catcher, threw it over to Brendan Lawson, the 3rd baseman, as if it was an out, and now he's pleading his case to home plate umpire Dan Fitzpatrick.
And indeed, out comes manager Jamie Shevchik for Brewster, but Tinney's under the impression that he got a piece of it while McKay stayed in the box and actually took a lap around the lefty box as though he had foul-tipped it. He might make a sound with that one, and now the umpires will meet to discuss what happened.
If it were to be called a strikeout, it would be McKay's 2nd already in this ball game. He's only struck out twice in a single game once this summer, and that was the season opener against Wareham back on June 14th. Unbelievable stretch of baseball that he's been playing. He was working a 17-game on-base streak dating back to the end of his Michigan State season, and it's called a foul ball. So Ryan McKay just stays alive by the skin of his teeth. He's got a 0-2 count with 1 out, nobody on.
Just barely off the end of the bat.
He's got Jackson Willits awaiting behind him, who already has a walk in this ball game. The 0-2. Check swing on a fastball high. They check and they say that he went. Another disagreement between Carson Tinney, the catcher, Dan Fitzpatrick, the home plate umpire. Tinney went to throw it to Brendan Lawson for a 2nd straight time, thinking that he retired the batter. And the home plate umpire, Fitzpatrick, didn't budge, but then he checked with Rick Antonio over at 3rd, who says that he went around.
Sometimes a catcher will try to help the umpire out, for lack of a better phrase.
Jackson Willits takes a strike on a curve.
If you pop out of your crouch fast enough and throw it down, it's more work to get the ball back to the pitcher and therefore the catcher than to just call it like the catcher saw it.
The 0-1 skips in. Willits with a 1-1 count. Just worked his 15th walk of the season. That ties him with Cotuit's Andrew Wiggins for the 2nd most in the league. 5 behind Orleans' Michael O'Shaughnessy, who this team just faced off against yesterday. Willits' 1-1 is down again.
But the shocking part about that, Graham, is that he's done it in so many less games. O'Shaughnessy's played in every game for Orleans. Wiggins has only missed a handful. And Willits got here midway through the season for Hyannis, but he comes off that all-star season in Falmouth a year ago with so much experience.
2-1, hit on the ground right at Kearse, the 2nd baseman, and he ends the inning. 3 up, 3 down for Tegan Coons. He strikes out 2 with a 3, and we're still scoreless. Before we go, though, we are going to send it over to our sideline reporter, Ethan Wax, for more on Jackson Willits.
Thanks, Graham. The Harbor Hawks hope the good times continue to roll at the plate after banging out 8 runs and 11 hits last night, led by shortstop Jackson Willits. His 3-for-3 performance with a walk, 3 runs scored, and a stolen base boosted his average to .378 in 12 games. Willits leads the league in batting average, on base percentage, OPS, and walks, and is second in runs scored with 15, one behind the league leader, who has played 5 more games. The Oklahoma Sooner certainly has the baseball gene in him. His father, Reggie, played 6 years for the Anaheim Angels, hitting .293 in 2007, and his younger brother, Eli, who is graduating high school this year, has been dubbed a can't-miss Major League Baseball prospect, who is certainly to be taken among the top 10 picks in this week's MLB draft. Jackson didn't play when the teams last met on June 25th, and the lineup looks a lot different today than it did in the 6-1 home defeat, as only 4 players who started that game are in the lineup tonight. Jackson's Cape League success should come as no surprise, as he led the Oklahoma Sooners as a sophomore in runs scored while finishing second in hits, home runs, and RBIs to first-team All-American Eastern Carmichael, who is also expected to be taken in the early rounds of this year's draft. Now let's swing it back to the booth to the gentleman for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Guys?
Thank you so much, Ethan. Jackson Willits drew a walk his first time up, couldn't keep the inning going. However, in the top of the 3rd, he grounded out to second baseman Carson Kearse. Back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings. One for Hyannis, one for Brewster. But despite Santi Garcia throwing a really good appearance, only allowing 1 hit, it was single back in the first, Mitch Carricker going with a change in Chandler Dorsey. A pretty short appearance for Santi Garcia.
Yeah, very surprising that he was only asked for his shortest outing of the season, but a true bullpen game for Mitch Carricker. Only allows that 1 hit, a scoreless sheet for Santi Garcia, a couple of strikeouts in the last 2 batters he faced in that 2nd inning, and now he gives way to Chandler Dorsey after another very strong performance for the incoming LSU Tiger.
Dorsey, his last time up on the mound, which was July 3rd against YD. He pitched for 2 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He's a righty on the mound, facing the left-hander Colin Priest. Priest takes a ball away on a heater.
And I think the most important thing about this outing for Santi Garcia, at least from Mitch Carricker's point of view, is that he didn't walk anybody. That's been a big problem for Hyannis recently on the mound.
1-0 from Dorsey. The curveball catches. 1-1 count. And Chandler Dorsey, coming off such a good last appearance, we talked about the numbers, but Mitch Carricker said that he thinks that was the best appearance they have gotten from him in this season. 1-1 is low on a curve.
And you'd be hard-pressed to say that because he's got a win this year and a bullpen hold in back-to-back outings this year. So for Mitch Carricker to say that's doubly impressive.
2-1. Grounded down the right field side. Velasquez, the first baseman, fields it, tosses it to Dorsey. 1 away. Dorsey with some early action. And he retires Colin Priest and gives way to Adam Magpock, the 9-hole hitter, getting to the plate for the first time. Dorsey, he's really only pitched for 2 innings-ish. He's got an inning and a third under his belt, 2 2/3 as well this season. But it doesn't feel like he's going to be a guy to go for the long haul either. First pitch curve misses low. Magpock takes ball 1. And so like you said, a true bullpen game for Hyannis today against Brewster. 1-0 from Dorsey. Fastball outside, coming in at 91 miles per hour. It's a 2-0 count. Feels interesting that Mitch Carricker would go with a bullpen game just because this team hasn't really had success against Brewster in the early parts of the season. 2-0. Slider misses low and inside.
But sometimes that's more a product of who's available, of who's gone a long time. Like I was even more surprised to see that Garcia was the guy because he only went a couple days ago, Graham. And so off somewhat short rest, that could factor into the short outing for him as well.
3-0. 4-pitch walk. That one is a heater outside. First walk of the ball game for Hyannis pitching.
And a great at-bat for Adam Magpock. Barely lifted the bat off the shoulder in a 4-pitch walk for Dorsey. Coming after that ground out for an Adam Magpock that is always a threat to steal a base. He led BC this past season with 24 stolen bases. He's on his way to San Diego State, but he brings a lot of speed along the base paths as well as in center field.
We flip to the top of the order. Carson Curse flew out his first time up to center field. There's one out in the inning, a runner on first base, and a first pitch slider misses high. The walks have been the issue as of late for Hyannis too, Gio.
They sure have, and Garcia did a good job of not letting it get to any 3-ball counts in the top of that first inning, or when it did in the rare occurrence, he induced ground ball contact both times, rather fly ball contact both times.
1-0, runner goes. It's a ball. Lawless's throw, not in time. McKay nearly got Magpok on his back foot sliding in, but Magpok able to get the hand on the base first.
That's what you saw virtually every time he reached base at BC this past season. Steal sign, steal from Adam Magpok after a walk, usually. That's what good plate discipline can do for a player like that, as a great second leadoff to now try and energize the top of the order for Brewster.
It's Magpok's 8th stolen bag of his 2025 season. He goes again. Lawless over to third. The throw gets past third baseman Willits. That's going to allow Magpok to race home, and Brewster gets the first run of the ball game. The mistakes tallying up already to plague Hyannis.
Yeah, and that won't go on the register of Chandler Dorsey, as you likely are going to get an error at third base by one of Stone Lawless or Jackson Willits. But for Adam Magpok there, you just see why speed kills.
2-1. Bunt shown. It's fouled straight back by Curse. Curse is a righty, so the door was shut for Stone Lawless to make that throw. He had to really step backwards to try to gun him down.
Curse was almost in the way, and that kind of put that throw past Jackson Willits, and indeed it is on the catcher Stone Lawless, and that being the error.
2-2. Skied into the infield. Over at third base, Jackson Willits makes the catch.
And a good recovery for Chandler Dorsey there. Reduced the fly ball on a very powerful hitter. Now you got Cal Fisher coming to the plate, and he's got a single already in this game. The only hit for Brewster so far in this game. So for Dorsey, it's just putting that run behind you. We've talked about it all season long at Graham. I think in every game at some point when Hyannis has allowed a run is to just put it behind you. There's nothing more you can say than that. And Dorsey did a good job of it there. He'll have to do it again to close out this inning.
Cal Fisher, he's the only Whitecap with a hit in this ball game, comes up, rips the first pitch, but pulls it well foul. And another theme that's becoming very consistent for Hyannis is walks turning into runs for other teams.
It often does, especially with a player like Magpok, as you heard earlier, Graham. You steal one base, steal another, and it all takes is an error for the first run of the game, and that could very well be the difference.
0-1 coming. That one's fouled straight back on a 12-6 curve. On July 4th at YD, Hyannis doubled up the number of hits that the Red Sox had and still lost that ball game.
Largely because of free passes on the pitching side.
0-2. Curveball in for strike 3. Well, the Whitecaps scratch across their first run. Adam Magpok playing small ball, steals 2 bases, reaches home on an error from catcher Stone Lawless.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the Rental Source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Top of the fourth inning, Brewster leads Hyannis 1-0 after Adam Magpok plays some small ball, steals 2 bases after a walk, and then comes home on an error from Stone Lawless, who was trying to cut him down on the second stolen base. And Gio, over the last 6 games, not including tonight, Hyannis has thrown a combined 29 walks, and that has just absolutely killed them.
And that's 5 or more, Graham, in 3 of the last 4 games. They walked an absurd 7 batters in the run rule loss to Katuitt this past week. And when you take that on the pitching end, it leads to runs. And if you're looking at the differentiating factor between Hyannis' first 3 weeks of the season when they were surging ahead in the West Division versus this week where they've kind of taken a step back, that is exactly why. Free passes, you extend it to hit by pitches, to errors like we saw from Stone Lawless, all that fuel other teams in terms of scoring runs.
Stone Lawless leads off, and he swings through a high fastball, climbs the ladder. Lawless struck out his first time up to the plate, batting in the cleanup spot tonight for the Harbor Hawks, only making his 5th appearance of the summer for Hyannis. Coming off a really strong 2-for-4 performance at YD on July 4th. And he cuts through another heater. It's 0-2. Tegan Coons had a little bit of a slower start, allowed a leadoff single to Matt Mura, a walk to Jackson Willits, but since then, he has been exceptional, coming off a 3-up, 3-down, top of the 3rd inning. Lawless, an 0-2. Checks his swing, curveball, gets him down looking. Coons, his 6th K of the ball game.
And how about now 4 in the last 5 batters? Just that's another dirty breaking ball from Tegan Coons. Just how we rung up Ryan McKay for the 2nd out in that 3rd inning. On the outer corner, this time to a righty. It's a lethal pitch to try and hit.
Sawyer Black comes up for the 2nd time. He flew out to right field his first time up. And he takes a heater upstairs for ball 1. This stretch of 3 batters, starting with Jackson Willits, who was the last out in the 3rd, to Stone Lawless and now Sawyer Black, none of them have played against Brewster yet this season. The 1-0, he's well late. Just the way that things have worked out, Willits has actually been here long enough where he could have played against the Whitecaps, but Mitch Carricker elected not to go with him.
And that could be exactly what Hyannis needs to reverse the recent trends against the Whitecaps. Fresh bats, fresh looks.
1-1. Another fastball, this time Blackwell late.
And every time Sawyer Black plays this season, it'll be interesting to see what kind of leash he has, because he suffered a hamate bone injury midway through his season at North Carolina that kept him out for nearly 30 games. And many didn't think he would come back to the Cape, or rather come to the Cape this year.
1-2, and he swings through. 4-pitch strikeout for Tegan Coons. He struck out the first 2 of the inning.
Back-to-back frames now, Graham, doing that, and they've all come the last 4 strikeouts for him. It's 4 in the last 5 batters that have come on that breaking ball. It's so lethal. It's a 12-6 hanging curve. It's sitting 82, 83. Really impressive stuff from him.
Ray Velasquez going to try to start a 2-out rally. He was hit by a pitch right in the ribs his first time up, but walked it off. He takes a curveball outside. The last time that these two teams faced off, Hyannis bats struck out 13 times. It's the most that the Harbor Hawks have struck out in a single game this season, and is only one of 2 times that it has struck out double-digit number of times. Flied back up the middle, Adam Magpok trying to get there, but the catch is made by Cal Fisher, the shortstop. 3 up, 3 down for the 2nd consecutive inning from Tegan Coons, and Brewster still has a 1-0 lead.
No business.
.318 batting average in the Cape Cod Baseball League, the 5th best ERA at 4.09. This is the first game Hyannis has gone into with an ERA at or above 4.
And I'd be curious to see, as it pertains to the batting average, how much of that distribution is in the first 3 innings versus the middle, I'd say 4. You know, get to the final 2, the high leverage situations. They've done pretty well in those this year, at least been fighting off for ties to the tune of 3. But in those middle innings, from 4 to 7, they really have not done a good job of the plate.
Brendan Lawson, the 3-hole hitter, going to lead off. Lawson lined out to shortstop Charlie Bates his first time up. And he takes on a breaking ball. And right before Lawson hit that line drive to Charlie Bates, we were talking about his interesting stance. He holds his bat well high, kind of chicken wings his left elbow. He swings through the 0-1.
A little Gary Sheffield? Not quite.
Yeah.
It's not as aggressive. I mean, Gary obviously had the quick feet.
Right. It's kind of like, I was thinking, if you took Shohei Ohtani's stance and then flared that left elbow out 90 degrees.
Look, it's almost like on its own plane.
He's down 0-2. And he takes a really good ball there. 12-6 curve coming in at 77 miles per hour, just missed on the outside of the plate.
And I'm still on this bat, as though if you were to put the bat, on a sort of a spring, something like that, it'd be a right angle.
1-2. Chopper down the right field line. Velasquez can't get it on a hop. And that turns into a leadoff batter getting aboard.
Tough play for Ray Velasquez. So the score could go either way. I imagine it'll be error because he just booted that off his side. He tried to swing his mitt forward on the almost Baltimore chop and just kind of taps it forward towards Dorsey, who somewhat came over to cover because he knew it was going to be a difficult play, regardless of if Velasquez makes it, for him to turn around and have to run back there. So good awareness from Dorsey to go cover.
And we got to remember that this is Velasquez's first game over at first base this season. He's been over at the hot corner, third base, all season long. So it's going to take a little bit of time to adjust. He just couldn't quite get that on the hop. Ryan Martin fouls one straight back, a slider that he was just underneath. And they call it a fielding error on Ray Velasquez. Talk about free passes all the time. That's already the second error for Hyannis in this ball game.
And even if it's not errors, they hit 2 batters yesterday, and that's been the story, like you said, Graham.
Martin popped out to Velasquez his first time up. And on another slider, he takes this low and away. Ryan Martin hitting in the cleanup spot for Brewster. He's got a .250 average over 4 games played. Hasn't spent much time with the Whitecaps. 1-1 heater catches the low part of the zone and just inside. It's 1-2. And Brewster going through a lot of roster turnover as well. We talked about Hyannis a little bit, but they've got equally as much.
Yeah, and we heard they lose Daniel Cuvée to Team USA. You lose Josiah Ragsdale, league leader in average.
1-2, chopped over to Charlie Bates. Picture perfect double play. They go to second, and it's just in time. The crowd and the Whitecaps not very happy about the call.
Yeah, Lawson slides at a proper time. Bates had to make an off-balance throw. He's hitched his right shoulder a bit back, and so he makes that from a sidearm plane. And McKay's tag, he kind of caught it at his left shoulder, brought it all the way down to his right, sort of spun it around, and on the umpire, Rick Antonio over there, he got it in time.
So Martin with a fielder's choice. He trades places with Brendan Lawson, who goes back to the dugout for the first out of the inning. Bottom of the fourth, 1-0 Brewster. And Wentz swings at the first pitch, line drive into center field. Matt Mira gets it on a hop and keeps Ryan Martin at second base. After Matt Mira's amazing throw to home yesterday to save an 8-8 tie in the top of the 10th, can't imagine many people are going to try to run on him.
And that would be a big ask from center field, but you're 100% right, Graham, that with the departure of Andrew Williamson, with his absolute gun in right field, Matt Mira seems to replace it. And to describe that throw yesterday, it's almost out of a movie, right out of the Field of Dreams almost. It's just incredible in the way that he was just floated it over third. It takes one bounce, Brody Briggs, tag in time. The absolute textbook throwdown and from left field.
Alex Sosa with a chance to bring home a second run for the Whitecaps with one out on the scoreboard. And he takes it, bounces away from Stone Lawless, and each batter advances one base. And the little mistakes, we keep harping on it, but Mitch Carricker does as well. He knows the only thing that he wants right now is a clean ball game.
And I would render to say that he hasn't gotten a completely clean ball game all year long, yet as he said to us a number of times this year, Graham, doesn't matter unless the scoreboard favors you, right? And that's, mentality that's either good or bad depending on how you look at it.
1-0 coming for Sosa. Slider inside. 2 balls and no strikes. We haven't even talked about the departure of Andrew Williamson yet. Williamson coming off of arguably his best appearance or best start of the season.
Triple shy of the cycle through 4 innings. Impressive stuff.
3 for 4 ball game. He had 4 RBIs. The 2-0 is nailed back to right center field. Matt Mura at the track. All he can do is watch. A 3-run blast for Alex Sosa. And he puts Brewster up 4-1, 4-0.
It looked as though that might have almost bounced in front of the wall, Graham. Mura slowed to a jog as he approached the wall in right center field. That ball was just torched from Alex Sosa. A lefty going to the favorable part of the ballpark, yet the deepest part of that section in right center field, just a few paces shy of the flag. And Mura, like you said, can only watch it bounce.
The third hit for Brewster on the ball game is by far the biggest, and it comes right after Dalton Wentz hit a single. Carson Tinney swings at the first pitch, sends it down the right field side. It's going to curve foul. For Chandler Dorsey, he had only allowed 1 run through his first 4 appearances, and in his second inning of work, he allows 3. Make it 4-0 in favor of the Whitecaps. It's also Dorsey's first home run allowed. 0-1. Hit down the right field side, foul again. Carson Tinney 0 for 1 on the day with a strikeout. That came back in the second inning. He was the last batter that Santi Garcia faced. And that it feels like it's going to be a big question as this ball game goes on, is did Garcia get pulled too early? 0-2, a slider. Cuts down Tinney swinging.
I think if you ask Santi Garcia that question, he's going to say, yes, I did get pulled too early. But obviously, yeah, it's not a decision that's up to him. And as well for Chandler Dorsey, you bring him into this spot, likely is a scheduled 2-inning start for Santi Garcia, knowing that Dorsey can give you the length. Even, I think despite the damage here, that still holds.
Colin Priest takes a curveball outside. In 5 appearances at LSU in 2025, Dorsey only allowed 3 earned runs. He's eclipsed that here with Hyannis. The fastball misses low. Dorsey going to UCF to play with Andrew Williamson, who just left. 2-0 count. Is foul tipped right back down to Stone Lawless. 2-1. And now we talked about how do you respond? How do you lock back into the game? As much for him, though, as the bats for Hyannis, who have kind of stalled.
Absolutely. It comes down to, I think, working walks.
2-1 is high, 3-1.
Too many 3-ball counts in this game have resulted in strikeouts, and 7 for Tegan Kuntz. Also, when he gets knocked out of the game, that comes eventually with innings like this that Brewster's putting on Hyannis. That could change things right on the flip of a dime.
3-1 curveball. Misses. 5-pitch walk. Second walk of the ball game for Hyannis pitching. Second for Chandler Dorsey.
And as for the immediate response from Chandler Dorsey, I think what he has to do, Graham, is go back to the pitch that worked, the fastball. If he can locate it, it worked very well in that first inning. He relieved Santi Garcia, faced one above the minimum with a strikeout to end it. Here he's gone to the breaking ball a bit more, and most notably, Alex Sosa tagged him for the long ball.
We've seen him go a lot to the curve. We haven't seen his slider as much, interestingly. As 9-hole hitter Magpok up to the plate. And he takes a strike right down Broadway on that slider, coming in at 82 miles per hour. But that feels like a really good pitch right now for him to mix in because he hasn't been throwing the fastball. They've been reading the curve. 0-1, heater outside, 1-1. But if that pitch isn't there, the fastball, it feels like he's kind of in trouble.
Sure is, especially with its spot. 92 velocity, which you saw right there. That's a pretty good number for him. Just got to find that outer third to the lefty.
2 outs in the inning. 4-0 Brewster. The 1-1 skips in. Lawless blocks it. The runner's on the move, and Lawless has no play.
That's just unlucky for Stone Lawless, Graham, because it's a really good stop on a ball that goes 55 of the 60 feet from the mound to the plate. Just bounces really hard off his chest plate and kicks out to his left, and that allows the runner to advance.
Second wild pitch of the inning from Chandler Dorsey that has allowed a runner to advance. It's 2-1 count to Adam Magpok. Dorsey, a couple looks over at Priest, now delivers. Hit back up to the right side. Ryan McKay at second makes the third out of the inning. A 3-1 blast from Alex Sosa defines the bottom of the fourth, and Brewster leads 4-0.
Owning a home means you can protect your family and put down roots in a community you care about. It gives you a place to celebrate the joys of daily living and be together during tough times. But for many on Cape Cod, home ownership is slipping further out of reach. Help make sure the American dream is available to the teachers, public safety professionals, and all the other people who make the Cape a special place. Visit capehousingmatters.org to find out more.
Top of the fifth inning. Brewster and Hyannis were locked in a close ball game until an explosion of Whitecaps runs, highlighted by a 3-run blast from Alex Sosa. It makes it a 4-0 ball game. Graham Nash and Sam Montag joining you from the Brewster bleachers here at Stony Brook Field. Sam, the Brewster pitching has been phenomenal. Tegan Kuhn's still out there, coming off 2 3-up, 3-down innings.
Yeah, he really has been lights out so far, and when he's putting down these Hawks like he has been, there's really no reason to take him out. He's been showing such strong determination. He's showing really good stamina right now, which isn't something that you see a lot in the Cape Cod League, but he's going so well, there's no reason to take him out yet.
He's facing 7-8-9 for Hyannis, starting with Jeff Lugie. Lugie, one of 2 Harbor Hawks to have a hit. He singled back in the second inning. Lugie takes a strike on a nasty 12-6 curveball. And that's the pitch that Kuhns has really found in this ball game. The 0-1. Another curve. That one misses low. Well, and they say it just catches the zone. 0-2. So Lugie well behind now. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Drop third strike. Lugie going to try to leg it out, but the play just made a half a step in time. Carson Tinney had a little trouble finding it.
Very difficult at bat for Lugie there. I mean, that second pitch, definitely not in Lugie's prime spot, not in the place that he wants to swing, but suddenly you're stuck with an 0-2 count. You don't have much of an option, and with 3 straight curveballs, strikeout, and next thing you know, you're going back to the bench empty-handed.
Here comes Hayden Federico. Flew out his first time to center field, making his 14th start of the season for manager Mitch Carricker. Federico takes on that curveball right down Broadway. He's down 0-1. Through 13 games at Ole Miss this last season, he had a .333 batting average with 7 RBIs, 2 doubles, a home run, and 10 walks. That's his 0-1. It's a heater, misses just low.
And he's begun to find his groove quite recently in the Cape Cod League. He started his season with a lot of strikeouts, but now he's found it. He's found the zone, and he's begun to really increase that average. His OBP is all the way up to 377.
His 1-1, he gulfs one out of the bottom of the zone and goes foul down the left side. That's exactly what Federico is kind of missing, is the consistent bat. He got off to a really slow start. 244 average right now for the switch hitter compared to that 333 average through 13 games at Ole Miss this season. 1-2. Swing over the top and a miss. Back-to-back Ks for Tegan Coons.
And Coons' curveball is working so well for him right now. That's 4 nasty ones to get the Hawks so far. And when he can tunnel that as well with his fastball, it's nearly impossible for these Hawks hitters to find anything.
And to close the book on Hayden Federico, despite the hits not being there, he still walked 9 times, which is 1 lower than through 13 games at Ole Miss. Bates cranks the first pitch to right center field, and it's down right in front of the wall. Bates turns to go for 2, chugging it out of the ground. He takes a wide turn. He's going for 3. Charlie Bates told to slide head first, and he's in it, skips past, but he's going to stay at third base.
Charlie Bates is back. The Cardinal sends one deep there, and you love to see it for Charlie Bates as well. He's been struggling recently. He's been getting unlucky, but still making good contact, and there he finds the gap. He sends it deep into right field, and he ends up with a triple.
Charlie Bates was 0 for his last 15 at the plate. He struck out his first time up in the 2nd inning, and that was the best piece of hitting we have seen from Bates this season. Absolutely smashed one to right center on a rope. Matt Mura takes a fastball on the outside corner for strike 1. Bates only had 1 extra base hit to his name this season. That was a double back on June 20th against Wareham. He went 3 for 4 in that game. Looked like he was catching fire as an 0-1 curveball misses outside and high. 1-1 count to Matt Mura. And then right after that game is when the slow stretch started. From the 21st to the 4th, he only had 1 hit. 1-1 for Mura with 2 outs. He fouls it off straight into the dirt. It's 1-2.
It was a difficult stretch for Bates, which included a lot of strikeouts for him, and most of those, unfortunately, were strikeouts looking. He wasn't liking those strike zones up here on Cape Cod, and he really wasn't getting his calls. So good to see him finally make contact and find that strong placement in the outfield.
1-2 to Mura with 2 outs. 94-mile-per-hour fastball misses outside. Carson Tinney stood up to walk back to the dugout. He thought that was strike 3. Instead, the count runs even at 2-2 with 2 outs. Charlie Bates 90 feet away from getting Hyannis' first run of this ball game against Brewster. Mura 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout. The 2-2, he pulls it down the left side. Dalton Wentz in position, and he records the 3rd out. Charlie Bates ropes a triple, his first hit in his last 16 tries at the plate, but Hyannis can't bring him home. 4-0 Brewster heading into the bottom of the 5th.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
This week we've been working a lot with doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before, so like seeing all the behind the scenes has like really grown.
I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John Rook.
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that, being with a guy like John Rook, understanding what like the major kind of entails of doing this camp, just really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting, so I'm definitely more prepared to make this a job of mine.
is 4-0 as the Harbor Hawks strand a base runner for the 4th time in this ball game. They've had opportunities, they just haven't been able to bring them home.
And really positive for Charlie Bates to rip that triple on a great piece of hitting into the right center field alley and leg it out. And that's been the theme, though, Graham. They've left too many runners on base. They're striking out at pitches they haven't struck out in past games, and too many 3-ball counts are resulting in Ks.
Chandler Dorsey still on the mound after allowing that 3-run bottom of the 4th. Alex Sosa took him a yard to right center field. A 3-run blast to make it 4-0. He's facing 1-2-3 due up for the Whitecaps. First pitch taken inside for Carson Curse. Curse 0 for 2 on the day, fly out and a pop out. As he sets for the 0-1. Hits it back up the middle, but slowly. Charging in. Bates can't make the play. And a leadoff runner on board for the 2nd straight inning.
And so that's just another one of those situations where we see the Hawks not making those plays in the field that they need to be making. And it really has been a lot of staying down on the ball. Because these Cape League fields are so different from each other, it's difficult to stay down and read the infield as well. And we're really seeing the Hawks struggle here tonight with staying down on the ball, keeping themselves in front, and letting the ball come to them.
Already 2 errors on the ball game for Hyannis. That one is called a single, so it won't go on Charlie Bates' record, but to your point, Sam, 2 errors. First pitch right at Ryan McKay. He lays out like Superman, and Cal Fisher goes to the dugout empty.
Doing his best Jeff Lugie impression there. Guys have been trading posts at second base all week long, and here McKay springs from his spot. Doesn't really run a whole lot because he didn't need to. Kind of in his range and goes full extension to glove that one, just like Jeff Lugie did the other day.
The Hawks have some supermen at second base, and Coach Carricker, like we were saying earlier, the best problem in the world with so much talent there.
Brings up Brendan Lawson with 1 out on the inning. Runner goes immediately. The pitch is high. The throw down from Stone Lawless is late. That's the 3rd stolen base for the Whitecaps in this ballgame. The first for someone not named Adam Magpok.
And that one is a product of the fact he's able to get in, because that's a pretty good throw from Stone Lawless, but both middle infielders pinched up to the outfield, so Bates makes a long run after his heels were on the left center field grass.
Lawson with a 1-0. Takes downstairs on a curveball, 2-0 count. Lawson 0 for 2 on the ball game. Lined out to Charlie Bates at shortstop his first time up, and then reached on an error by Ray Velasquez over at first base back in the 4th inning. He led off for the 4th and is already back up to the plate in the 5th. 2 balls, no strikes. He checks his swing on a high heater, 3-0.
That's a beautiful take from Lawson. You saw the fastball there, which was switched up from that previous curveball, just a little bit high, and Lawson able to read it beautifully and have a perfect take.
Trying to draw the 4th walk of the ball game as Dorsey steps off. Lawson has Curse over at second. Also a 4-0 cushion in the bottom of the 5th inning as Brewster leads. The 3-0. Downstairs ball 4. The runner going to third base. It got past Lawless. The throw not in time. A bang-bang play. Stone Lawless just kind of lost the baseball underneath him.
And now the second player for Brewster to steal multiple bases in the same appearance on base along with Magpok. Curse gets a really late jump because he didn't really decide to go until Lawson took ball 4, and almost it was the throw of Lawson's bat that again delayed Stone Lawless in that pop out to throw to third. And another swiped bag for Brewster with a runner 90 feet away.
Here's Ryan Martin, 0 for 2 on the day. Runners on the corners. And he takes a slider down low, right underneath Stone Lawless. He did a good job to block that one. But already 1 run has come through from Stone Lawless, making an error, trying to gun down a runner going to third. can place your bets that he does not want to be the reason another run comes by. The 1-0 curveball fouled straight back. It was up in the zone, and Martin just couldn't quite get on top of it.
And that's been the biggest spot where the Whitecaps have been taking advantage so far this game. They've been getting on base due to those unforced errors, and then they have been running wild once they've gotten there, taking advantage of every dropped pitch possible.
Martin with a 1-1. Swings through it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The Whitecaps 1 for 2 tonight with runners in scoring position. And Martin trying to make that 2 for 3. Carson Kurse at third, Brendan Lawson at first. 4-0 ball game Brewster. 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Runner goes, and it's hit back to the right side. McKay isn't there. 1 run crosses. Another one's getting the wave around from third, and now the brakes are pumped. Races back to third base. A throw down at second is not in time. And Brewster gets their 5th run of the ball game.
Well, this is largely on Brendan Lawson for the fact that Ryan McKay couldn't get over to this ball. He shaded towards the second base bag from the shallow right field, and as Lawson makes that wide turn around second, he was off regardless, Graham, so he got the jump. He was halfway to the base when contact was made by Ryan Martin, and that blocked McKay from getting over to his spot in time, and Lawson smartly pumps the brakes at third because he was hosed in right.
If McKay didn't go over to second base, he would have been in the perfect position to make a play. Instead, 1 scores, and Dalton Wentz swings and misses on a curveball that dips right to home plate at the last second.
And to add on to that, Ryan Martin with a beautiful piece of hitting. That's all control of the top hands that allows him to place that ball perfectly right in between first and second, taking McKay away and giving himself an opportunity to succeed.
The 0-1. Fastball inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dalton Wentz 1 for 2 on the day, singled back in the 4th. He was the 2nd of 3 runs to come home on Alex Sosa's 3-run homer. Sosa warming up on the on-deck circle right now. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, the 1-1. And he's well late to a curveball.
Wentz has got the wind at his back now. It's been rotating from, I guess, toward first to third, and now right at the back of the batter. He tried to send that one over the flag.
Third baseman Jackson Willets with his toes on the infield grass, pinched in a little bit. 1-2. Swing and a miss. And they say he balked. They say Chandler Dorsey
doesn't come set on the play, and so because of that, second base umpire is going to call a balk on it. And those are one of those unforced errors, and balks especially have just been plaguing this Hyannis team. We've seen it a couple of times throughout the season, and they're too costly and they're too easy to correct.
And so Wentz still at the plate, and now he swings through a 1-2. Drop third strike, Lawless throws it high, Velasquez drops it, and he's called safe.
On the transfer, Graham. Jumped up high, Lawless sailed him by a good 1.5 feet, and Velasquez tried to bring it down. I saw that he stepped on the base with the ball in his glove, and as he landed with his right foot on the infield dirt, that's when he dropped it, which would signal the out at first, but Jake Brichter saw differently.
Blaze Martinez comes out of the visiting dugout to talk to his pitcher. Chandler Dorsey really struggling right now.
And Graham, Dorsey himself has been finding a little bit of a groove. He's been making his pitches, but it's unforced errors and it's good high baseball IQ by the Whitecaps that have allowed them to take advantage here in this 5th inning. We've seen a lot of good pitches made by Dorsey. That's a strikeout right there, but poor playing by Lawless just allows this Brewster team to continue piling on the runs.
From where we are, we're unable to see if anyone's warming up in the Hyannis bullpen. And Dalton Wentz advancing to first on a dropped third strike. Runners are at the corners. Ryan Martin is 90 feet away.
And amazingly, of the 6 runs now that Dorsey's allowed, just 4 of them are earned because of the errors in this game.
Alex Sosa coming off a home run at the plate. And he takes a 77-mile-per-hour curveball low and inside for ball one. Sosa struck out his first time up to the dish. That was Santi Garcia's first K of the ball game. And then he takes Chandler Dorsey yard just an inning ago. It's 6-0 Brewster in the bottom of the fifth. The 1-0, fastball low, 2 balls, no strikes. And Dorsey just seeming to lose his command a little bit.
I think it all comes down to that balk where he's not settled in, doesn't look like himself. It's showing in the zone and atop the bump.
Sosa ahead 2-0 with 1 out on the scoreboard in the fifth. The pitch hit right back up the middle. Dorsey can't get it. McKay tosses to Bates, 1 out. The throw is high to Velasquez. And they say that Bates didn't get the out at second. Oh, no, he did. Okay, he did. It looked like first base umpire Jake Brichta pointed to tell Wentz to go to third because the ball went over the head of Ray Velasquez. But they did get the out at second base. Wentz is retired, but the run, Ryan Martin comes home because Hyannis couldn't complete that double play.
So strangely, Graham, that's going to act a little bit like just a normal ground ball in this situation. The Hawks get lucky in that sense, but yet another errant throw by Charlie Bates, and that's just going to cost the Hawks over and over.
First pitch swinging into the left field gap. Carson Tinney has a base hit. Coming around, Alex Sosa, he gets the stop at the last second. So it's a 2-out single from Carson Tinney. Runners are at the corners, and it's an 8-0 lead for Brewster.
And that's where good hitting is just compounded, because that's a really great piece of hitting from Carson Tinney, something we're pretty much used to from the semifinalists for the Buster Posey Award at Notre Dame. And now out comes Mitch Carricker, because that's the result of compounded unforced errors like we've seen this entire inning.
Mitch Carricker already made 1 pitching change, took Santi Garcia out after the second inning. And now he's going up to talk and take the ball from Chandler Dorsey. A 3rd pitching change for Hyannis. We'll give you the name and number when we come back on the Harbor Hawks Network.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Still bottom of the 5th inning, and Brewster up 8-0 over Hyannis. A new pitcher on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. It's Zach Edwards. Edwards only making his 2nd appearance of the season for the Harbor Hawks. The right-handed pitcher, a rising sophomore at Oregon State. He got the win against YD. Only pitched for 1 inning in relief on July 3rd. No hits, no runs, no walks, 3 strikeouts. A very quick 1 inning for Zach Edwards, and he is taking the place of Chandler Dorsey, who really struggled.
Yeah, tumultuous outing for Chandler Dorsey. 3 2/3. He allows 4 hits. Of the 7 runs he allows to come across, 5 are earned, and that's indicative of the errors in the field, Graham. 3 walks, just 1 K in a very difficult outing. His worst of the season so far for Chandler Dorsey.
And he's coming into a tough spot. Alex Sosa is on second base. Carson Tinney is at first. There are 2 outs in the inning, however. So theoretically, all that the new pitcher Edwards has to do is come in and get 1 out. But he's going up against Colin Priest, 0 for 1 on the day with a walk.
And even more than that, this Hyannis defense has not been on its prime here tonight. We've seen a lot of missed opportunities like you hinted at, Gio, and we've seen a lot of chances for Dorsey to get out of the inning, drop 3rd strikes, errors in the field, missed opportunities at the plate. And we're going to have to see if this defense can get behind Zach Edwards. It's only 1 out, but sometimes that 1 out can be the hardest one to get.
Facing Colin Priest, the first baseman. Priest, the 8th batter, the 8th different batter for Brewster in this inning. He's able to get on base. They will have batted around 1 through 9, starting with Curse leading off and ending with Magpok in the 9 hole. Priest has runners on the corners, and he takes a ball away. Fastball coming in at 96 miles per hour. Edwards had a 5.89 ERA at Oregon State over 16 appearances. His 0-1, another heater, fouled straight back. That went over the heart of the plate, and Priest just couldn't quite catch it. Edwards only allowed more than 1 earned run in 3 appearances in his 2025 season. 3 at Cal Poly, 4 at Nebraska, 3 at UC Irvine. His 1-1 well high and away, a changeup that looks like it slipped. He struck out more batters than he walked every single time he stepped up to the mound. And as a result, Oregon State had a phenomenal year. The 2-1 swung through by Priest. Priest coming off that walk that he drew back in the 4th. He's able to get himself to second on a wild pitch from Chandler Dorsey, but couldn't come home. Deuce is wild. Chopped down the right side. It goes foul before Velasquez can get there. And he stays alive. Edwards, although he did allow more than 1 earned run in only 3 appearances, he threw 2 scoreless innings against Coastal Carolina in the playoffs. College Baseball World Series. Coastal Carolina making it all the way to the championship game. 2-2. Swung right through. Colin Priest runs out of strikes. Zach Edwards gets the out that he needed. 7-0 Brewster heading into the top of the 6th.
Your future begins at Dean College.
Make a difference.
Leave your mark.
Break the mold.
Be a leader.
Achieve unimagined heights.
Believe in yourself.
Make lifelong friends.
This is your time.
Your place.
Your home. Your Dean.
It all starts here at Dean College.
Brewster leads 7-0 over Hyannis in the top of the 6th inning. The bats for the Harbor Hawks have been absolutely quiet, and it's been because this guy on the mound, Tegan Coons, has been phenomenal.
9 of his 15 outs are strikeouts, and a lot of them have come swinging. Just 3 looking, Graham, and rather 2 looking. And for him, it's been that fastball. He's got incredible command with the heater. He's used it on a number of those strikeouts. It's sitting 95 right now. Got a curveball that drops as low as 73 as we've seen in this game, Graham, and that's a really jarring difference that's fooled Hyannis hitting all night.
And he's facing off against a tough part of the order, and Ryan McKay, Jackson Willits, and Stone Lawless. But he's had a lot of success against these 3 specifically in this ball game. Combined, he's struck them out 4 times, only walked Willits once, and then also got Jackson Willits to bat into a ground out. But Ryan McKay, 2 strikeouts on this ball game, both swinging. It's only the 2nd time this season with Hyannis that he struck out multiple times in a start. The first time was the season opener against Wareham on June 14th. McKay has been bouncing around the lineup. Recently, he's been at the top of the order. Today, he bats 2nd. His first pitch, a curveball that goes right down the heart. 0-1. McKay has really thrived this summer, especially with the wooden bat, hitting a .365 average. The 0-1, he's well late to a fastball. .365 average. That's 102 points better through 13 games than he batted with a metal bat at Michigan State this season.
Not normal.
He is on an absolute tear, but he struggled today, 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. The 0-2 to him. He foul tips it, and it just bounces out of the glove of Carson Tinney, so he stays alive.
And to that point about the average, Graham, between Ryan McKay and Jackson Willits, Hyannis has 2 of the 4 leading batters in average in the entire Cape Cod Baseball League. So they're finding their groove. A lot of these players are finding the talent. They just need the hits to come at the right time.
0-2 for Ryan McKay. Ripped down the right side and into the right field gap. Ryan McKay gets a leadoff single. And he's backed up by that guy that has 1 better average than him, like you said, Sam. Jackson Willits.
And so Willits with an OBP well over 500 this year. That is unheard of. That is absurd. But this man finds a way every single time, whether it's drawing a walk or getting his pitch. He finds a way to get on base, and you wouldn't rather have anybody else up to the plate right now.
Willits 0 for 1 with a walk in this ball game. He takes a fastball well low in the dirt. He's ahead 1-0. He's another guy that, interestingly, has thrived with the wooden bat. Through 11 games at Oklahoma this season, he had a .256 average. That compares to a .324 average that he has through 11 games with the Harbor Hawks and a wooden bat. His 1-0, taken right down the heart for strike 1. 92-mile-per-hour fastball. And that pitch is really looking strong for Coons in the 6th inning. Coons with 9 strikeouts. He's kept Hyannis scoreless. They've only got 4 hits as the best team batting average in the league. The 1-1 curves low, 75-mile-per-hour breaking ball that misses. It's 2-1. Willits has been a phenomenal leadoff man. He's tied for the 2nd most stolen bases on the team. Today he's batting 3rd. 2-1. Broken bat right at the shortstop. Fisher drops it. And now they're saying Willits is out. McKay gets fortunate in that he's standing at first, so he will stay there. And now we have a conversation, because if that ball drops, theoretically, McKay would have had to get to second base.
Exactly, but as soon as you make that out at first, that force is now gone. So what the umpires are likely talking about right now is, because McKay was standing on the base, that would mean 2 players get out. Because if 2 players are on the base and there's a force, both are out. However, because the ball was dropped and they made the out at first, that force goes away, and McKay is now able to go back to first base, technically, and so he would be safe at first.
That's exactly what's happened. McKay still standing at first base. They say Jackson Willits is out on a liner to Cal Fisher.
Would be an infield fly situation, although not nearly high a pop-up for that. As well, he's also dropped it and attempted to catch it, so that eliminates that play as well. But as Sam said, fortunate that McKay froze on that line drive.
So cleanup hitter Stone Lawless will now deal with 1 out in the inning, and Ryan McKay still over at first base. Lawless, like McKay, coming into his 3rd at-bat, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. As now we're going to have a meeting of the minds on the mound for Brewster.
And with Coons now at 80 pitches, it's likely that he's just getting checked on. He's working super efficiently through 5 1/3 with just 80 pitches. But in this Cape Cod League, we often see pitchers keeping their pitch counts pretty low, keeping their inning counts pretty low. And so it looks like his day is over.
His day is over. Jamie Shevchik, the manager, will take the ball from Tegan Coons, who had a phenomenal start against the best batting team in the Cape Cod Baseball League. We'll let you know who is taking over for him after this break.
If you can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Hasn't been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Nate Britton is the new pitcher on the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps. 6'4", 200-pound rising junior at Wake Forest, making his 5th appearance of his Cape League summer. He's pitched for 7 innings over those 4 appearances, has a 3.86 ERA, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts, and is coming off one of his poorer performances of the season against Chatham on the 2nd of July. Went for 2 1/3, 2 hits, 1 run, which was earned, 2 strikeouts. But he's coming off a pretty good sophomore season with Wake Forest, 4.7 ERA over 10 appearances, 7 2/3 innings pitched. So he really would not go out for a long time when he did get time on the mound. Be interesting to see how long they leave him out this time. He takes the place for Tegan Coons, who had a phenomenal start.
Outing of the year for Tegan Coons through 5 1/3, just 3 hits, no runs, 1 walk. How about 9 Ks in those frames? Just remarkable stuff from start to finish for the Tennessee Volunteer.
The last time that these two teams faced, Brewster handed Hyannis the most strikeouts that they have had in a single ball game. 13 Ks for Hyannis. It's only 1 of 2 times that the Bats have struck out double-digit number of times. The other was the very next game at Orleans when they struck out 12 times. They're trying to avoid that same fate here, but you're thinking 1 strikeout away from reaching 10 on the day, and you've got innings 6, 7, 8, 9 left. That probably won't happen.
And it's been difficult for this Hawks offense, especially because they've been taking a lot of their first pitches. And with Coons on the mound, he has been dealing lights out all game. He was dealing lights out all game long. And so all of those first pitches were strikes. When you're starting 0-1, you're already in a hole, and then you're just trying to dig yourself out the whole time.
Stone Lawless is up to the plate for the 3rd time. He's 0 for 2 with 2 Ks. His first pitch hits him on the elbow guard, and he will pretty calmly take first base. Didn't even wince, although it came in at 90 miles per hour. The 2nd hit batsman of the day for Brewster pitching, but Hyannis hasn't been able to take advantage of that yet.
Not quite as painful as Ray Velasquez's hit by pitch in the 2nd inning, where it got him just above that left rib. Lawless fortunate it clanks off of his elbow guard. And now an opportunity for Sawyer Black to take advantage of it, unlike the Harbor Hawks were able to do in the 2nd.
Black also 0 for 2 with a strikeout on the day. He takes a fastball in the inside corner, 0-1. And when Velasquez got hit by that pitch, he then got caught in a rundown between 3rd base and home as Jeff Lugie tried to steal from 1st to 2nd, and Carson Tinney got Velasquez to jump as he faked a throw down to 2nd base. The 0-1, Lugie chops it foul down the right field side on another fastball. And if Velasquez stayed safe, if he stayed at 3rd base and was able to come home with Matt Miura up to the plate, one of the best batters with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this last collegiate season, Hyannis would have struck first, and they would have done so in the first 2 innings. They are 7-4-1 as a team when scoring at least 1 run in the first 2 innings this season. The 0-2, Black takes a fastball outside, ball 1.
That was the difference for those first 3-4 weeks of the season, where they were flipping the order early but also making it count. Here they flipped the order through 3 again. Just unable to plate some of those runs, and that's a big credit to Tegan Coons.
Runners on 1st and 2nd for Hyannis. Black swings over the top of a 92-mile-per-hour fastball. He's the 2nd out of the inning.
Big first strikeout there for Britton to get 2 outs on the inning. Now all of the Hawks' hopes are with Ray Velasquez, and the Hawks have to get something going here in the 6th inning. They can't leave 2 more on base, and when you're already down 7-0, you have to find a way to plate a run.
Velasquez hit by a pitch and then popped out his first 2 times up. He's been pretty cold as of late. 1 for his last 17 at the plate coming into this ball game. His first pitch is well high. 1-0 count. But for Velasquez, it feels like it's only a matter of time for him to re-find his groove. He started the season on a 5-game hit streak with 2 multi-hit performances. It just kind of all unraveled for him after that. Ready for his 1-0? Here it is. He swings through a curveball.
It's not like he's striking out a ton. That was what really plagued Charlie Bates during that hitless stretch that he broke today. Velasquez putting bat to ball just almost in a similar way that fate befell Brody Briggs, where he's just not getting the bounces, just not working out for him, and just takes a couple of good swings to crack out of that.
The 1-1 is fouled straight back on a 93-mile-per-hour fastball.
It's been a very quiet, cold stretch, and one of those reasons is because he's still getting walks as well. He's been able to get on base occasionally, about once or twice a game, but it really has been a tough patch in terms of getting hits for him.
His 1-for-4 performance against Orleans yesterday was the first time he had a hit since June 28th against Falmouth. 2 outs in the inning. Hyannis trails 7-0. Runners on first and second. Britton with the 1-2. Nearly hits Velasquez. And he looks pretty routed. Oh, it did hit him. It hit him in the helmet?
Just grazed it. And stone cold reaction from Ray Velasquez. The second time he's been hit, second hit batsman of the inning for Nate Britton.
So now Hyannis' first potential run is 90 feet away. Ryan McKay over at third. Jeff Lugie coming up to the plate. Lugie 1 for 2 with a strikeout. His pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses low, a check swing. They want him to appeal. They will, and it says no swing.
Really good take there from Luigi. That is a tough pitch to take on. Fastball just below the knees, and he does a phenomenal job of holding the bat back.
Seen a healthy amount of fastballs from Britton. He delivers another one, this one inside. And Carson Tinney has to work to keep it in his glove. A couple mistakes from this Brewster team could flip the game on its head, and now we've got a meeting between pitcher and pitching coach. That's Brian Del Rosso.
And just last night, we saw Orleans make that 7-run comeback that personally I didn't think would happen. And suddenly you're in a tie ball game in the 8th inning. It's not too late for this Hawks team, and they're in striking distance. They have bases loaded. They have Jeff Lugie up at the plate ready to go, but they need to make something happen here.
Ryan McKay at third. He does belong to Tegan Coons, would go on Coons' record if he comes home, but Stone Lawless at second and Ray Velasquez both belong to Nate Britton. He allowed an earned run against Chatham his last time up, over 2 1/3. He's down 2-0 to Lugie. Lugie sends one down the left field line, fading away from Wentz and left. He leaps and can't grab it. McKay comes home. Lawless gets the wave, as will Velasquez. The throw not even making it into the infield. And Jeff Lugie, a 3 RBI stand-up double in the top of the 6th. Those are the first 3 runs for the Harbor Hawks.
Beautiful piece of hitting there by Jeff Lugie. He goes with the pitch. It was an outside pitch. He takes it deep to left field, well over the left fielder's head. He's able to clear the bases, and this Hawks team, they're getting back into this game.
This is the last team that you want to see coming from behind like this.
Exactly, especially with the danger of flipping the order coming up, Graham. Federico in the 8-hole have to start a 2-out rally to make it happen in this frame against Nate Britton. But certainly doable, especially for the later innings. Not over yet.
Hayden Federico fouls the first pitch straight back, a fastball in the lower half of the zone.
Eerily similar to the way that Orleans got itself back into that game yesterday. A couple mistakes on the Brewster end. And here it's 2-hit batsmen from Nate Britton. And a good piece of hitting get you right back in it.
Hyannis already with 3 runs in the 6th, matching 2 3-run innings back-to-back from Brewster in the 4th and 5th. 0-1. Slider misses inside. 1-1 count.
And we saw this also Sorry, Graham. We saw this also from the Brewster team in that 5th inning. 2-out rallies. That last out, it's the hardest to get for most teams, and here we're seeing Hyannis take advantage with 2.
Federico 0 for 2 on the day with a strikeout. He takes a fastball inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Federico 6 RBIs on the season, working a 16-game on-base streak. He's got Luigi at second, 2 outs in the inning. Hyannis trails 7-3, and he takes a fastball in the dirt, 3-1. And these are the kind of at-bats that we've become accustomed to seeing from Hayden Federico. He's so patient, so disciplined, rarely expands the zone. He locks back into a 3-run. Luigi at second, the pitch. Outside, 5-pitch walk for Hayden Federico.
That's huge in that spot from Federico because now Bates coming off that triple in the 5th. Maybe he's got some of that confidence back after a really difficult stretch in this week into the last. If you flip the order here, it's a brand new ball game.
Well, Charlie Bates, who just hit a triple back in the 5th inning, is up to the plate for a 3rd time. He checks his swing on a fastball that's down the heart of the plate. For Bates, that was his first hit since June 24th at Falmouth. He was 0 for his last 15 coming into this ball game, but absolutely roped a triple down the right side. 0-1, off speed, catches the outside corner. He's down 0-2 with 2 outs. Hyannis already with a 3 spot in the top of the 6th. They trail 7-3. Luigi at second, Federico on first in the 0-2. In for strike 3. Bates couldn't catch the 91-mile-per-hour fastball. And Britton gets out of the inning despite Hyannis putting up 3 runs. It's 7-3.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
It's important for Zach Edwards to remember, despite the leadoff single, he can still get out of this inning clean as long as his defense is smart behind him.
2-1, swung on and missed by Carson Curse. Adam Magpok led off the inning with a single. It's the bottom of the 6th. Hyannis trails 7-3 to the Brewster Whitecaps. Carson Curse has an even 2-2 count with no outs on the scoreboard. Check over at first base, and Magpok is in safely.
I was about to say, surprised he hasn't gotten a sign to steal yet, because that's something he did a lot at Boston College, led that team with 25. And so just a healthy lead here. It's a dangerous runner, so Velasquez has got to be on his horse.
2-2 is away. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hyannis pitching has dealt 3 walks already to Brewster bats. That makes it 32 walks over the past 7 games for Hyannis pitching. Edwards trying to avoid a 33rd. The 3-2 inside. It's another walk.
And the free passes continue to haunt Hyannis here in the bottom of the 6th inning. They have to slow it down because suddenly you have 2 men on, no outs, and you're trying to get back in this game. You have the momentum behind you, but it is so easy for Brewster to take that right back and put more runs on the board.
And Hyannis has really struggled in 3-ball counts on both sides tonight. Too many of them have been Ks at the plate, and again, now 4 walks for the 4th time in 5 games.
Brings up the righty, Cal Fisher. Runners go on a double steal. Lawless goes to second. The throwdown for McKay in time. First out of the inning is a cut down Carson Curse, but Adam Magpok is safely into third base.
That's got to feel good for Stone Lawless. A lot of stolen bases tonight for that Whitecaps team. Finally, he's able to cut one down, and only 1 runner on now with 1 out as the Hyannis defense comes and plays shallow.
Magpok, the 4th stolen bag for this Brewster team. The 3rd for him alone today, as the 1-0 is well high. He has unbelievable speed, and Lawless seemed to know not to even test him over at 3rd. Instead, he went for the out at 2nd with Carson Curse.
He's earned his respect from the battery.
2-0 coming, and it's cued off right towards us. 82-mile-per-hour slider. And Fisher just got a piece at the end of the bat. Fisher, rising junior at Florida State. Played in 52 games for the Seminoles. 303 batting average. 11 doubles, 8 home runs, 37 RBIs. The 2-1. He fouls it off straight down in the dirt on another breaking ball. He hasn't had quite the same mustard, though, in this summer season. Only 2 RBIs, a .250 batting average. That's 5 hits over the course of 6 games, so still a pretty young season for him. One of Brewster's newcomers after they lost a lot of talented bats, including Josiah Ragsdale. 2-2 crushed down the left field side, but curling foul. Black in the territory, and he can't make the grab.
Three straight curveballs there for Edwards, but all 3 have been beautifully placed. You wonder if he'll switch it up here and go for the fastball, as it really could mess with the vision, get some good tunneling in, and get lost in the chase.
Edwards still looking for his 2nd out of the inning with a runner 90 feet from home plate. We got time called by Cal Fisher. Two-two count. The pitch. Fouled straight back on another breaking ball. Yet to see that fastball. It's a 7-3 lead for Brewster. Hyannis scored 3 in the top of this inning. Top of the 6th. Now we're in the bottom. So if Brewster able to score, it could suck all the momentum out of their dugout. 2-2. 94-mile-per-hour fastball, but well lown away.
And Brewster's got a very favorable runner on 3rd to make that happen. In a game against Pittsburgh this year for BC, Magpok ended the game on a walk-off suicide squeeze, so he's got the speed to score from anywhere.
Payoff pitch. Pulled down the left field line, and it's right over the head of Magpok, who ducks. It's foul.
This is the third or fourth time that Fisher has absolutely smoked a ball foul. Just seems to be turning on a lot of these breaking balls from Hyannis pitching.
He just can't quite time it up. Edwards doing a good job of really slowing it down. Surprised we haven't seen his fastball in a while. Payoff. Another breaking ball fouled straight behind us. Really good play that time from Fisher. Really good swing to dig that one out of the dirt. It was pretty much at home plate by the time he hit it. One out in the bottom of the sixth. 7-3 lead Brewster. Magpok 90 feet away. 3-2. Hit back to center field. A high fly ball. Matt Mura and Black in the area. Black makes the catch. Magpok tags, and throw isn't even made. Magpok makes it 8-3 in favor of Brewster.
It's like watching a track sprinter with that release, or more better example, a wide receiver going on a go route. Just great release from Magpok on the tag, and it throw even not attempted because he's earned his respect along the base pass. Just an absolute speedster, and there's an 8th run for Brewster.
Magpok transferring from Boston College to San Diego State. Going to play some California baseball as Brendan Lawson comes up to the plate. He hits the first pitch right at third baseman Willits. A great pick out of the dirt, and that will end the inning. Brewster gets an insurance run, but Hyannis had a lot of momentum in the top of the sixth. It's 8-3 Whitecaps heading into the seventh.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the rental source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
When I started teaching on the Cape 30 years ago, you could buy a house on a teacher's salary. But today, teachers, public safety officers, healthcare and hospitality workers, the people who make the Cape work, are struggling to find homes they can afford. And I really worry about the kids who will follow us. I think it's time we learn to do better.
If housing on Cape Cod matters to you, join us at capehousingmatters.org.
Another pitching change for the Brewster Whitecaps. They're going with Alex Philpott. Philpott, rising junior at Florida, 6'6", 200 pounds, making his 5th appearance. He has started one ball game this season, but he has 3 other relief appearances to go along with it. An inflated 8.59 ERA over 7 1/3 pitched. 9 strikeouts, interestingly, no walks. So it's the hits that have really caused him trouble. He pitched the first time these two teams faced off in Hyannis on June 16th. Went for 3 innings, allowed 2 hits. No runs scratched across, however. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 3. But in his last game against Chatham, he really struggled. 2/3 of an inning pitched, 6 hits, 7 runs, all of which were earned, and 1 strikeout. He's taking the place of Nate Britton. Britton went for 2/3 in this ball game. 2/3, 1 hit, 2 runs, which were earned, a walk, and 2 Ks.
The thing to note with Britton's final line, a couple of hit batsmen in 3 batters in Lawless and Velasquez that allow this to make it a 5-run game, or else it's just the double from Lucci that plates Ryan McKay home if he doesn't have that happen.
A tough outing for sure from Nate Britton, as he only went 2/3, but it really felt like Hyannis had his number tonight. So good job from Brewster, able to figure out that it was his time to go. Alex Philpott's going to come in and try and bear down, keep this Brewster lead to 5 as the top of the lineup is coming up for Hyannis.
Mura is going to lead off. Top of the order, like you said, Sam, and then Ryan McKay and Jackson Willits. McKay, 1 for 3 on the day. He singled his first time up in the first, but is yet to get on base after. Swings at the first pitch, cues it towards Curse, the second baseman. Has some trouble, but is able to beat a very speedy Matt Mura to the bag.
Impressive play from Curse. That's a really slow chopper. You don't see that a lot. He didn't really get to charge it as well as he might have liked because it took that slowed hop off the infield grass, but goes to a really low arm slot to dish that ball to first for the out.
And a great job by Carson Curse right there, staying low on the ball. We've seen that happen a couple of times to Hyannis where it hasn't gone their way, and this infield's been tricky all night long.
McKay scoots his left foot out of the way on a breaking ball that nearly clipped it. McKay coming off a very good single, but he had 2 strikeouts before that. Kind of found his momentum in his last plate appearance. It's 1-0. Taken all the way down Broadway for a strike on an 83-mile-per-hour slider.
And McKay likely taking until he got a strike this at-bat as Mura, grounded out on the first pitch of his at-bat.
He swings at the second, but it's the heat, and he's well late. 1-2 count for Ryan McKay. He did play one of the 2 games against Brewster, the second time these 2 teams met on June 25th. Went 1 for 4, roped a double. His 1-2 is well high. The fastball again. Likely we might see a breaking ball now. Try to tunnel that high fastball with something that can bend into the zone. McKay was on a 9-game hit streak before he pinch hit yesterday and didn't get a hit. His 2-2, it's the breaking ball, and he foul tips it into the glove of Carson Tinney. 2 down.
It's a nasty breaking ball right there from Philpott. Really just got Ryan McKay on his back foot, and great job of tunneling there. Mixed in the fastball, mixed in the curveball, got the changeup, and suddenly McKay's back to the bench. 3rd strikeout on the night, which is something that we just do not see often from Ryan McKay.
Jackson Willett's yet to record a hit, something we haven't seen from him either in a long time. He's working a 6-game hit streak. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Changeup coming in, just caught that. He's down 0-1. He worked a walk back in the first, but has yet to get a hit. That walk extended an on-base streak to 13 straight. On a curve, he takes a ball. And his on-base streak really extends to 20 games, going all the way back to his final 8 at OU. 1-1 is low again on a curveball. 2 balls and 1 strike. And this is the reason for why he's done so well at getting on base, this plate discipline.
His first at-bat where he walked, he didn't swing once short of a check swing. And when he sees something he doesn't like early, first couple pitches from a guy, he is not going to chase anything.
2 outs in the inning. 2-1 is low again. The slider can't locate. It's 3-1 to Willits.
I'm constantly in awe of the way that Jackson Willits approaches each plate appearance. He does it with such a high baseball IQ and so much experience that he just constantly makes the most of every plate appearance.
3-1 fastball is right down the pipe. Willits on what you might think is a green light pitch. Didn't lift the bat off his shoulder. Exactly what we've been talking about. If he doesn't see a pitch early that he doesn't like, it's going to take a lot for him to swing. He might have to here. 2 outs, payoff pitch. Hit back up the middle, charging to it is Fisher. He keeps it in the infield to throw. Pulls first baseman Priest off the bag. And that sends Willits over to second base.
Yeah, just advanced the bag there. Great effort from Cal Fisher. Backpedaling towards the center field grass and to throw it almost like a quarterback just shuffling out of the way, to use another football analogy. And there, the momentum takes the ball with him. Doesn't square it up, doesn't aim a little bit to the right of the bag to have that ball drift in. And now Willits in scoring position for Stone Lawless to begin and further the 2-out rally.
Lawless has struggled today. 2 strikeouts. He was hit by a pitch his last time up. It's his only trip to the base pads. His first pitch Skips past the catcher. That's going to allow Willits to take third with ease. A late throw is definitely not in time, although Willits was kind of jogging over the bag. So now 90 feet away is another run for Hyannis. They trail 8-3, but this, we keep coming back to that Orleans game yesterday. The Firebirds just slowly crept back, and all of a sudden it was tied.
It's one mistake from a pitching staff that causes this to happen.
1-0 to Lawless. Check swing down in the dirt. They say he went, but it gets past catcher Tinney. A little bit of a late realization for Willits. He's still at third.
In baseball, is completely a mental game. It is a game full of momentum. And so one of the things that Hyannis is going to have to do here is find that momentum here in the top of the 7th. They already have 2 outs, though, so it's going to be difficult. They're really relying on Stone Lawless here to come through, put them back on the board, and secure their 2nd consecutive inning with runs on the board.
2 outs, 1-1 to Lawless. He swings through a curveball. The breaking balls today have gotten Hyannis from 1 through 9.
And it starts with Tegan Coons. Nate Britton, even in his short stint, did a very good job locating that pitch. And so was Philpott here.
Hyannis is a runner at third, but 2 outs and a 1-2 to Lawless. Breaking ball as well. Skips past the catcher. Willits going to try to squeeze the throw to home. Not in time. Jackson Willits scores to make it an 8-4 ball game. And as we talk about, here come the Harbor Hawks.
Great read there by Jackson Willits. Saw the ball up immediately, and then a beautiful slide got right under the glove of Philpott, able to put the Hawks back on the board, and suddenly they've cut this lead back down to 4 again.
2 wild pitches from Alex Philpott allowed Jackson Willits to come home. We've seen a lot of those mistakes from Hyannis in today's ball game, but Brewster, there with a couple of their own. 2-2 Lawless. That one skips in again, comes over to us. And the count runs full. Philpott has gone back-to-back to the curveball. Both have been in the dirt. The release point just hasn't been there. Two outs in the top of the 7th. 8-4 Brewster lead. Stone Lawless in the cleanup spot with a 3-2. Swings over a curveball. Jackson Willits plays some small ball, gets himself home, but no other Harbor Hawks can get on base. It's 8-4 Brewster heading into the bottom of the 7th.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Bottom of the 7th inning. And it's an 8-4 ball game here in Brewster. We've got our favorite segment up, Beat D-Bot. D-Bot, you're coming off a win, but you still got a losing record, man. How are we feeling?
We are feeling okay.
Don't sound it.
Yeah.
Don't sound it.
8 and 9 is, it's all right. We'll see. I'm feeling a lot better than the Harbor Hawks are right now.
The Harbor Hawks, they've started to come back a little bit. 3 runs in the 6th, 1 in the 7th. The pitching needs to lock it down.
Maybe that's a metaphor for you, D-Bot. You're starting to come back a little bit.
You're starting to come back.
Down, but not out.
Your school, D-Bot, one Josiah Ragsdale, went to one Iona College. Or Iona University. I don't remember which one.
This is prior to his transfer to BC.
Yeah.
Ryan Martin swings through the first pitch, a fastball still from Zach Edwards.
That's a good one. Gosh. Because Patino coached there.
Yeah.
before he went to St. John's because, he got fired from Louisville after all the, recruiting violation stuff.
Ryan Martin is down 0-2.
They are featured on ESPNU a lot in the dead of winter.
0-2 is fouled right back towards us, and it just goes over the net. Lawless almost had a play.
That's all of that's to say, Gales?
Wow.
Wow. Well done, D-Bot. You got it right.
I'm going to tip the cat. That is one of the better ones.
That's impressive, especially because their logo is just a crest.
It is.
For a lot of these,
it's like a
0-2. Hit the other way and hit hard. Hayden Federico in the area looking over his shoulder. He can't get there, and it's a ground rule double. Got blocked at the last second by the base runner, Ryan Martin. We couldn't tell if it flew or if it bounced. It did bounce.
He had to Willie Mays it. Basket catch. Just misreads it by a step. And fortunately for Federico, it doesn't bounce off the base of the wall and allow Martin with a great jump to take potentially 3 bases. So just the ground rule double and a chance here for Dalton Wentz.
D-Bot, well done. What's your record now?
We're 9-9.
Wow.
Ooh, he's batting 500.
That's one of your more impressive ones of the season because it's just like almost like the Harvard logo where it's an H in the shield.
Yeah.
That one's an I with like a bit of a similar backdrop. Nothing saying the Gales.
You know what it felt similar to? It felt similar to Winthrop, where in my head, where it just like the name was just in my head, but I wasn't 100% sure.
That's a bit clearer though. Winthrop, it's shaped like an eagle.
Yeah, but in the sense that that was the only name coming in my head, and it was there, but I didn't feel that confident.
Dalton Wentz takes a ball up high, a fastball that misses. Very well done, D-Bot. 9-9 record. We will see you on Tuesday, off day tomorrow, for the entire league. 1-0, skied well high, moving Willits into foul territory from third base, and he has the catch for the first out of the inning.
I've realized this season, Graham, that those foul balls are a lot harder than they look to us in the stands. And you've seen every team in the league that we've seen so far struggle with those because they move so quickly. It's really windy today off the flag in right center, blowing from first out to the left center field alley. And for Willits, kind of starts towards the bullpen all the way on the fence, then has to go back and just leave that mid out there. You're leaving it up to chance, and he's an experienced infielder, so he's a bit more confident in that than we maybe think he would be, but just super impressive that guys are able to catch that at the clip that they do.
Home run hitter Alex Sosa back up to the plate. Hit a 3-run blast back in the fourth. Made it 4-0 ball game Brewster. He foul tips the first pitch fastball from the top of the zone back behind home plate. And that was what really changed the narrative of this ball game because it was 1-0 through 3.5 innings, and then all of a sudden Chandler Dorsey allows that home run, and that's when it started to feel out of reach. Edwards has to step off, and now he's calling for Stone Lawless for a conversation, maybe some pitch comm issues.
That or a longer conversation that would take too much up of the pitch clock to have on the pitch comm. That's a way I've seen batteries adapt to that, where you could just do this or it's a longer conversation with the signs. That's what would happen, but with the pitch clock, it changes the way you have to communicate, obviously with the pitch comm as well. You're under the constraints. You can't have longer matchup conversations like you could just for a mound visit.
Lawless back behind home plate in his crouch. An 0-1 count for Alex Sosa. 1 for 3 on the day, a strikeout, a home run, and a fielder's choice. The 0-1. Catches the outside on an off speed.
And you see as well Charlie Bates at shortstop signaling into Stone Lawless. The communication that's going on silently throughout all 9 players really is incredible, and at such a high level to be able to be focused on so much. It's just such a professional way of playing.
0-2 ripped to the right side. Hayden Federico tested again at the track in the wall, and it bounces off. Federico has to throw it back in. Martin rounds third. He stops as McKay runs it back into the infield. but 2 doubles in the inning. This one for Alex Sosa. 2 are in scoring position for the Whitecaps.
We've seen the power in this game, Graham, from Alex Sosa with the homer in the 4th inning. The decisive blow of this game, frankly, blew it wide open for Brewster. This one just a few feet shy of a second long ball of the day, but it almost works in Federico's favor and right that it bounces off the base of the wall and that it was close to a home run because Martin kind of stopped on his way to third as though it was gone.
So with 2 in scoring position, Carson Tinney with a real chance to get insurance. It's already 8-4 Brewster in the bottom of the 7th inning with 1 out on the scoreboard for Zach Edwards. And he gets Tinney to swing way in front of a slider.
And a very lucky break as well for Zach Edwards. Because Martin paused and didn't come home, he still has a chance to get out of this frame scoreless.
Edwards came in the bottom of the 5th. This is 0-1, skips in a good block from Stone Lawless. The fastball just didn't quite have the right release point. But Edwards comes in bottom of the 5th, needs to get 1 out, does so. Then in the 6th, he allows a leadoff single to Adam Magpock, a walk to Carson Curse, and gets 2 quick outs. 1-1, fastball inside, and Tinney has to scoot out of the way. But Magpock still found a way to play small ball and score, as he did back in the 3rd. And that allowed a run that goes on Edwards' record. 1 out, 2-1. And another swing and miss on a slider. Edwards zoning into this at-bat now after 2 doubles. One from Ryan Martin to lead off, and then Alex Sosa 2 batters later. 2-2. Swing and a miss on another breaking ball. Lawless dropped it. He'll throw it over to first, and there's out number 2.
What a job there by Zach Edwards. In a clutch situation, he's able to get the strikeout, and the command on his pitches there was so impressive. We've seen him have a little bit of trouble with the strike zone, but during that specific at-bat, he really had that curveball dialed in, and he was really able to get those pitches exactly where he wanted them to go.
Colin Priest steps up to the plate for the 4th time today. 0 for 2 with a walk and a strikeout. 2 outs on the scoreboard, and he takes an off-speed outside. Hyannis coming into this ball game first in the Cape League in strikes, 2 ahead of Falmouth. They've been battling back and forth with Falmouth all season long for most strikeouts in the league, as the 2-all fastball is away belt level. They finally eclipsed Falmouth, but they also have the 3rd most walks allowed in the Cape League, which is what has come back to bite them. 84 walks and 185 strikeouts. 2-0 catches the low half of the zone on a fastball. And that's what they need to clean up. We keep talking about it. Free passes, Mitch Carricker, every time we talk to him, that's what he harps on. It cannot be overstated how much these walks and free passes have hurt the Harbor Hawks. 2-1, chopped in the dirt, and it just cues foul. 2-2 count for Colin Priest.
And if you take all the free passes out of this ballgame, you could be looking at a 4-4 or 4-5 game instead of 4-8. And those are those situations where the free passes are just too much. They'll take you completely out of contention, and that's why they're beginning to cost the Harbor Hawks.
2 outs, 2 on, both in scoring position. The 2-2 pulled down the right field side again towards Federico. He makes the catch, sliding to a knee. 2 doubles for Brewster hitting, but no one comes home. Still 8-4 Whitecaps over the Harbor Hawks going into the 8th.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings, they are ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
At the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Brewster, the Harbor Hawks, coming off a really impressive defensive inning, 2 doubles, but no one scored for the Whitecaps.
Very good stuff from Zach Edwards, topping out 94-95. We saw the heater from him last time out. Looking good again here.
Sawyer Black leads off, hits the first pitch to the right side. Ryan Martin over at the wall. It takes a bounce and hits the fence. Black chugging into second. He rounds second, is going to go to third. Cal Fisher, the shortstop, throws to third base, and he gets him in time. Sawyer Black doesn't like the call, but he goes to the dugout. And what a throw to get a very speedy Sawyer Black.
That's the 9.65 relay there, Graham. A perfect job on the throw and right from Ryan Martin. Cal Fisher in a great spot to turn the fire in time. And Black tries to stretch that double into a triple.
Velasquez scoots out of the way.
And the other thing to note here is that Hyannis doesn't have all night. No lights here at Stony Brook Field, so it could run out of time if the sun continues to set over the third base line like it has.
1-0 to Velasquez. Slider just catches the low and away corner. The sun pretty much entirely off of the outfield. It was catching that right field corner for a while, but now it's all the way gone. Sun's going to set around 8:18 here in Brewster. 1-1 curve right down the pipe. Started at the helmet of Ray Velasquez, ended right at his belt. It's a 1-2 count.
And so if you're Hyannis, it almost becomes like these next 2 frames at the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs because you're on the clock from the sun regardless of how many outs you have.
1-2, Velasquez just gets a piece of a curveball. This is one of 3 fields that don't have lights? Or just 2?
Yes, it's 3.
3.
It would be Katuitt, Lowell Park, YD, Red Wilson Field, Stony Brook Field for Brewster. I was thinking about it too.
1-2 for Velasquez. Puts one right into the dirt at the shortstop. Fisher against the grain, jumps and throws. What a stretch from Colin Priest to make the play. Goes down in a split, and they're 2 away in the top of the 8th.
Derek Jeter in a Brewster Whitecaps jersey. First off, Cal Fisher, backhanded field, leaping throw that bounces into first, and Priest, full split off the bag for out number 2. That's highlight reel, and if Brewster does its own best of the nest, that'd be number 1.
Best of the nest and a week around the nest just came out on YouTube. First pitch low for Luigi. 1 ball, no strike. Check out Harbor Hawks YouTube for Sam Montag's Week Around the Nest series. Luigi 2 for 3 on the day, a single, a double, and a strikeout. The 1-0. Hit well high into the shallow left outfield. A pop-up played for Wentz. 3 up and 3 kind of down. A leadoff double for Sawyer Black. It is the minimum for Alex Philpott. 8-4 heading into the bottom of the 8th.
At the Mass
That may
Day
have just
Lottery,
ended it.
we know
Yeah.
there's no bigger win than
excuse
the
me?
$1 billion
Dude,
we
that was
provide each year to
nasty.
support all 351 cities
was
and towns
ridiculous.
in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass
Derek
Day Lottery.
Jeter, you are a
Welcome to the
Brewster
state of
Whitecap.
winning.
Of course, I forgot to hit record. I didn't get
This
that
week
play.
we've been
I love
working
that
a
that's
lot with
called the
doing
Jeter.
Play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes
Is that
stuff
just? It's
with
probably
sports
just me that does
broadcasting,
that,
which
right?
I never really
I haven't heard it.
realized how much
Yeah, it's
went
just
into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never
Jeter
really
trying to
done
find
like
a
a program
cutoff,
like
man.
this before.
How about a
so, like, seeing all the
9.65
behind the
assist,
scenes
though?
is, like, really
Yeah.
great. I've learned how to really
We got a new
gain
pitcher.
confidence in my play-by-play speaking,
36.
and I've learned more terms here
Who?
when it comes to
August?
directing and producing, and I've just had a great time with John.
Who the?
Doing the play-by-play stuff and all that.
Oh, 100
There's a
Deets, 100 Deets, 100
100
Deets.
Deets. Thank you. I didn't have a number on
Kind
him.
of entails
ball
doing
knowledge
this
right there.
camp.
That is.
Really a preview for what you do here at Dean or any other college doing broadcasting. So I'm definitely.
I got your on Edwards.
Cool. Thank you.
Dorsey. Where's the flip?
This
Okay.
week we've been
Single
working a lot with
walk.
doing play-by-plays, just doing behind-the-scenes stuff with sports broadcasting, which I never really realized how much went into it, but it's been really cool.
They've grown a lot. I've never really done like a program like this before. So like seeing all the behind the scenes has like really grown. I've learned how to really just gain confidence in my play-by-play speaking, and I've learned more terms here when it comes to directing and producing, and I've
Brewster, who leads 8-4. It's Hunter Dietz. Dietz made one appearance this season, went for 2 innings, allowed 3 hits and 5 runs, all of which were earned, so his ERA well high at 22.5. He's coming off of a season against Arkansas in 2025. Had a 54 ERA, only made 2 appearances, pitched for 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 4 runs, all of which were earned, and allowed a home run as well. Coming in for Zach Edwards.
Yeah, he goes 2 1/3 in relief of Chandler Dorsey. Keeps the sheet clean outside of that 1 run allowed in the 6th inning. His first full frame of work on an Adam Magpok single to stolen base. Who else is surprised about that? He comes home, and he's the 8th run of the day for Brewster. But outside of that, just the 2 hits, that 1 run, 1 walk, couple strikeouts.
Dietz is going to face Adam Magpok to lead off the inning. 9-1-2 due up for Brewster, but Magpok not really a 9-hole hitter in this ball game. He has been phenomenal. First pitch fastball catches the low and away corner.
Good from both sides as well, and that's what San Diego State is getting in the Boston College transfer. A guy that can hit for power from both sides, even though at 5'9", it doesn't seem like he's got that pop.
0-1 fastball inside and down, ball 1.
And the speed just pops off the stat sheet.
1-1 is inside. That's going to be 2 balls and 1 strike. Speaking of speed, Hunter Dietz works real quick on the mound.
Yeah, it's 4 or 5 seconds between throws, and then right set from the windup, ready to go.
2-1 from the lefty. Inside again, another fastball that he's just pulled a little bit. 3 balls and 1 strike.
From watching Magpok at BC, his jersey is always covered in infield dirt.
As it is now, 3-1. He sends one foul back into the net right behind us.
And in addition to the adjustment of Dietz's speed, Graham, it's lefty, righty, righty, lefty for Mitch Carricker. So Magpok switching sides in retaliation to that, but also for Brewster adjusting to a new arm angle.
Payoff pitch. Hit the other way. Ryan McKay at second. Fields it cleanly and makes the throw. 1 away in the bottom of the 8th. And that last inning for Hyannis, that last half inning, top of the 8th, was really where we could point to a dagger. If this ends up being the final score 8-4, Sawyer Black tried to stretch a double into a triple in the leadoff spot.
Yeah, and you get a 9.65 outfield assist. You have a perfect ground out 6-3.
First pitch strike, a fastball in the outside corner to Carson Curse.
And perfect probably for a Yankee fan as Cal Fisher does his best Derek Jeter at shortstop. A great, amazing stretch from Colin Priest. And you get that fly out, and that changes things.
0-1, the first time we've seen a breaking ball from Hunter Dietz, and he gets Carson Curse to fan over the top. 85-mile-per-hour breaking ball from Dietz, matching up with his 94-mile-per-hour fastball right now. 1 out in the inning, the 0-2. skips in. The breaking ball bounced well in front of home plate. Brewster with an 8-4 lead. They've out-hit Hyannis 9-4, but the big thing that pops out, 4 errors for Hyannis, 1 for Brewster. 1-2 taken the other way, well high, trying to get foul. Hayden Federico racing, sliding, and he can't make the catch. It stays fair. Throw to Bates, skips past him, but fortunately for Hyannis, Jackson Willits at third was there to cover. And so Curse can't go to third, but he is at second base.
Each of the last 3 hits for Brewster have been doubles, and this one is the most difficult catch to try and make of them all for Hayden Federico, and that includes a basket catch to start the 7th that he just couldn't get to in time. This one takes him to the absolute cusp of foul territory on the first base side, and a throw that represents the fact of how quickly he had to get there. Quick transfer, rush throw, and there you see it off to Charlie Bates. Fortunately, it skips in the direction of third, which keeps Curse at second base.
Brings up Cal Fisher with a runner in scoring position, only 1 out in the inning. 8-4 lead for Brewster. Swings at the first pitch, breaking ball sent well high into left center field. It is gone! Insurance for Brewster, a 2-run blast from Cal Fisher. They're on top 10-4 at Stony Brook Field.
Second dinger of the day for Brewster, Graham. And you knew right off of the bat from Cal Fisher that one was gone. Just a towering drive into left center field. 375 the post on that mark where he flew it by a good 10 to 20 feet.
Still only 1 out in the inning. Brewster's bats have been unbelievable. 11 hits, 10 runs.
And how about the response, Graham, after losing by 16 yesterday to come back and have this?
First pitch inside turns Brendan Lawson's back to the plate. It's 1-0. And how about the response from Brewster's pitching as well? To put up that many runs, 14-run inning. To hold Hyannis to 4 is really impressive.
13 strikeouts as well to go along with it.
1-0. Chopped down into the dirt. Ryan McKay has been busy this inning. He makes the second out.
And I think the most impressive thing for Brewster is how clean they've been. That's something that Mitch Carricker's looking for, especially of late, Graham. Just 1 error on the board, and it comes in an adverse situation back in the 5th, where Hyannis got its, rather, I'm looking at the 6th, where it got its most runs. Hyannis up to 4 errors, season high, and that doesn't even include other free passes.
Martin gets hit in the back. First pitch from Hunter Dietz. Free pass galore.
Eerily on cue there. Surprisingly, that's the first hit batsman of the game for Hyannis pitching. Harbor Hawks have been hit a couple times, or rather a trio of times on their own end. But it's just too much to think about. 4 walks for the at least 4 walks for the 4th out of 5th game. You have the 4 errors, now the hit batsman. It's all falling apart.
Dalton Wentz comes up to the plate. 2 outs, a runner on first. He's 1 for 4 on the day. He takes a fastball away. He singled back in the 4th inning. Lined out, popped out, struck out, but it was a dropped 3rd strike, and he was able to get to first. The 1-0, inside on a breaking ball, 2 balls, no strikes.
And how about the line for Ryan Martin? And just only playing a handful of games so far for Brewster. Reaches on the fielder's choice in the 4th, a double in the 5th. He comes around. That's a 2 RBI double as well. Another double in the 7th, hit here in the 8th.
It's 2-0. Inside on a slider, 3 balls, no strikes. Hunter Dietz, after recording a very quick first out, now struggling. 3-0. Finds the zone on a fastball. It's the first time we've seen Dietz go to the heater in this at-bat. 3 breaking balls, 3 balls. 1 strike from a fastball. The 3-1, breaking balls away, 5-pitch walk.
We sound like broken records, Graham, but it's only because it's happened so often with these free passes. And that's another walk for Dietz that he just struggled to find his zone after a first pitch strike, or rather a first pitch ball.
Mitch Carricker comes out of the dugout for Hyannis. Hasn't made a reach for the baseball yet from Hunter Dietz. having a conversation. That was the 5th walk of the ball game for Hyannis pitching. 5 walks, a hit batsman, 4 errors. Can argue 9 free passes or 9 opportunities as Mitch Carricker gives his pitcher a little tap on the chest, turns around, walks back to the dugout, and Hunter Dietz stays on the mound.
And if it is indeed out of reach with the sun continuing to set, remember, folks, no lights here at Stony Brook Field, so Hyannis has as much time until the sun sets to try and get this game off and work a 6-run comeback. What you can get from this game is good reps from the guys that are in. So Zach Edwards, let him stretch that. It will be second straight full frame of work, rather third straight full frame of work to continue to get him bolstered for the rest of the season when it's going to matter.
Alex Sosa with a home run and a double steps in with 2 outs, a runner at first and a runner at second. 10-4 lead for Brewster in the bottom of the 8th. Swings at the first pitch, sends it to left center field. Matt Mura racing over, and he has the catch on the run. 2 score in the bottom of the 8th. It's 10-4 Whitecaps. Matt Mura with a nice play to end the inning. 3 outs remain for Hyannis bats to catch the Whitecaps.
When it comes to delicious food, the best place to start is with great appliances. And Cam Appliances is your one-stop shop for any budget with brands like Thermador, Viking, Bosch, GE, and so much more. Cam Appliances, sales, delivery, installation, and service in the heart of your home with locations in Hyannis, Nantucket, and Hanover.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Stony Brook Field in Brewster. The Whitecaps leading the Harbor Hawks 10-4. An offensive explosion all day long for Brewster. 11 hits to Hyannis' 7. But we've talked about it. The real thing that sticks off the page, 4 errors for Hyannis to go along with 5 walks.
And now a hit batsman in that inning as well. Free passes continue to shoot Hyannis in the foot. Game in and game out. You could point to every single loss this season. If another one's on the way, this would be roped into that as well. And you could find that the free passes are the differentiating factor between wins and losses because it's a Hyannis team that continues to see the baseball really well. I mean, they've had explosive innings this season. And in this game as well with a 3-run frame in the 5th. And that's you can't continue to do that on the mound and expect to win baseball games. Just can't.
8, 9, and 1 are due up for Hyannis. That's Hayden Federico, Charlie Bates, and Matt Mura. Federico and Bates with 1 hit and 1 walk between them. That was a Bates triple back in the 5th, and then Federico drew a walk his most recent time up, but they've struck out a combined 3 times. Matt Mura, he's also 1 for 4 on the day with a strikeout of his own. That single came back in the top of the 1st inning to lead off the ball game. Alex Philpott on the mound. It's his game to finish for Brewster. First pitch, heater away.
And that makes sense for manager Jamie Shevchik. You want to get out of this game with as little arms used. You're not going to pinch at anybody unless it gets dire, and that would take a momentous Hyannis comeback in this frame.
1-0, Federico checks his swing. The fastball's right down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hayden Federico did not play in yesterday's ball game. Got a day off, but hasn't had the mustard at the plate. 1-1. Breaking ball sends it foul down the left field side. Federico on a 3-game hit streak, 13-game on-base streak. He's gotten on base every single time that he has started here on the Cape. And we can actually turn that into 14 games. He walked last time he was up. 1-2. Pulled, fouled on the right base, the first base side. For Federico, He got on base in all 13 of his first 13 games at Ole Miss as a freshman. He got off to a rapid start with the Rebels, and he has just repeated that. He's gotten on base in every single game he's played this year with the Harbor Hawks to begin. His 1-2. Chopped right back up at Philpott. He fields his position and gets the first out of the inning. One away, 2 more outs for Brewster to win 3 in a row against Hyannis. And that's a scary thought if you're the Harbor Hawks. There's always seems to be that one team that you can't seem to win against. And so far this season, it's been Brewster.
Some teams just have your number. And last year for Hyannis, it was Bourne. Only took 1 game from the Braves, and of course that decisive final game.
Charlie Bates takes a ball on curve.
That decisive final loss comes in the playoffs, and that, the ultimate, show of this is our kryptonite.
1-0 for Bates with 1 out. Is an off speed that misses. 2 balls and no strikes. Last year, Hyannis had a lot of success against Brewster. They beat them 3 out of 4 times. Once here at Stony Brook Field and twice at home. So far, they're 0 for 2 at home. The 2-0 swung on and missed. A fastball that blows right by Charlie Bates, right around the knees. Bates with 2 strikeouts that bookend a triple in tonight's ball game. His 2-1 is upstairs. Fastball can't locate. 3 balls, 1 strike. Only 2 walks on the day for Hyannis bats. They have been hit 3 times. 3-1, fouled straight back on another fastball. Full count for Charlie Bates. 13 strikeouts. The last time that Hyannis played Brewster, it struck out 13 times.
Hawks tasting a bit of their own medicine against the Caps this year.
Payoff pitch. Down low, fastball, and ball 4. And there's walk number 3. Charlie Bates gets on base for a second time today.
And win or lose here, that's a really good day for Charlie Bates. Given how much he's struggled in the last couple of games to get a walk, especially on a pitch like that hasn't fallen his way at any point in this last week and a half, really big to follow up the triple.
Matt Mura going to step back into the batter's box. 1 for 4 day, a single back in the first. He stole a base after that single. Then went strikeout, line out, ground out. Hyannis trails 10-4 in the top of the 9th with 1 out on the scoreboard. Mura waits on a slow curveball but fouls it straight back. Hyannis, they've had a lot of success on the road early in this season. 5-2-2 record on the road. They've struggled at home, 4-4-1. They're trying to avoid their 3rd road loss of the season. 0-1. Gets right past Carson Tinney, a wild pitch. And Charlie Bates is in scoring position. Hyannis, they're winless over their last 2. Lost a couple of days ago on July 4th at YD. And then tied yesterday against Orleans in a ball game where they led 8-1. They're trying to give Brewster a little bit of the taste of their mouths that Orleans gave them yesterday. One pitch with 1 out. Runner in scoring position is just on the zone. Low and away corner. Matt Mura shakes his head, didn't like it, and he's going to call time. Mura climbs back in. Hyannis trailed by 6. His 1-2. Check swing, soared, strike 3. 2 away in the top of the 9th. How about strikeout number 14 for Hyannis bats? The most that the bats have struck out in a single game this season.
And the 5th for Alex Philpott in relief of Nate Britton.
This is only the 3rd time that Hyannis bats have struck out double-digit number of times. Once to Orleans and then another time to Brewster. First pitch to Ryan McKay is a fastball at the knees that catches for strike 1. Ryan McKay, 1 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Only the second time in his Cape League season that he's struck out multiple times in a single game. The 0-1. Gulfs one out of the bottom of the zone. Gets past Philpott. Gloved by Fisher. The throw not in time. Runners at the corners with 2 outs in the inning.
Tough running from Ryan McKay and a similarly good play from Cal Fisher. This time he was moving backwards like he was in that earlier throw that he missed off the bag to Colin Priest. And instead of allowing the momentum, if he's going backwards, to take the ball, he aims outside and it drifts in. Good throw on time to Priest, and the stretch just not there.
It brings up Jackson Willits. Willits has had a pretty good performance tonight. A walk, a single, and then 2 other outs. First pitch. He takes for strike 1 on a fastball. This broadcast is a copyrighted production of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Any unauthorized duplication, retransmission, or other use is strictly prohibited. The 0-1 is a fastball at the knees that catches Brewster 1 strike away from taking their 3rd of the season from this Hyannis team. Runners on the corners for Jackson Willits. 10-4 Whitecaps. The 0-2. Willits hits it back up the middle. Carson Kirst, the second baseman, ends the ball game. Brewster wins 10-4, takes their 3rd of the season against Hyannis. And Gio, it just comes down to the errors, the free passes. Too many tonight for Hyannis to get a win.
That's 100% right, Graham. 5 walks, now the 4th time in the last 5 games that Hyannis has dished out 4 or more walks, and it's their 2nd with 5 in 3 games, and you extend that to hit batsmen, the 4 errors, a jarring number. It's a season high for the Harbor Hawks, but let's give Brewster its credit. 14 Ks of Harbor Hawks tonight. That sounds like the line for opponents that the Harbor Hawks pitching would dish out to the guys that it faces, and just weren't seeing the ball very well tonight. That's a credit to Tegan Coons, who came in and dished 9 strikeouts in 5 1/3. Nate Britton only gets 1 over 2/3 of an inning, and Philpott goes for 5. That's an incredible number for him, or rather for 4, excuse me. So that for Brewster to do that after coming off of a 19-3 loss at the hands of Cotuit yesterday, really impressive stuff from the Whitecaps, who continue to surge behind YD, and the Red Sox are faltering, so the Whitecaps could retake first place.
Hyannis, 4 runs on 8 hits with 4 errors. They leave 8 on base. And as for Brewster, 10 runs on 11 hits, 1 error. They leave 6. That is going to wrap up today's ball game. Hyannis are now winless over their last 3. They're back on it on Tuesday. We'll be at home against Brewster, team in the West Division that's a mere 4 points behind Hyannis for that first place position. So in addition to Falmouth being on their tails, the Bourne Braves are also right there trying to climb back and overtake Hyannis in the West Division. That game between Hyannis and Bourne will be at 6 p.m. at McKeon Park. That's going to do it for us this July 4th weekend. For our entire crew, Daniel Bottolino and Sam Montag. For our sideline reporters, Ava Fernandez and Ethan Wax, and my partner, Giovanni Collada, I'm Graham Nash. We'll see you next time.
Here at the Mass State Lottery, we're known for our monster wins. But there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. In our game, we know that supporting local businesses and helping communities is how we all win. Because at the lottery, we're all playing for the home team. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.